Wow. So I don't get any single malt notes on the palate at all, but I certainly do on the nose.
Yeah, it's an interesting one.
Let me grab a water real quick. Wow. I don't get any single malt notes on the palate at all, but I certainly do on the nose.
Yeah, it's an interesting one.
Let me grab a water real quick.
All right, gentlemen, we got to talk about what's been going on with you guys for the last couple of months.
Shit, same old stuff. Yeah, it's only been, I think it's been, 5 months since you've been on?
Yeah, lots changed.
Yeah, at least for you. Over here, same old stuff, just talking guests and drinking whiskey, smoking cigars. I don't know how it is down by you, but we got some crazy rain going on right now with this front.
Yeah, no rain where we're at. Like, it's dry as crap here, man. It's super dry.
I was going to be outside, but I was like, I don't want to sit there and have to mute my mic every 5 seconds when it's thundering and everything. And
yeah, I was trying to figure out a way to sit outside and have this conversation with you guys so I can smoke a cigar, but it's too difficult to go out where I was going to be at. So I have to set up a brand new laptop, and I don't want to do that. So. Yeah, Jerry came down. You guys know that Jerry came down for the Ebor cigar event, and he walked up, and I'm like, I know you. I know you. He goes, beers, bourbons, and Belvers. Oh, I said, oh, Jerry, you said you were coming down, man. That's awesome. Thanks for showing up, dude.
That was
and
a
then
good time.
It rained cats and dogs for half the day.
It was still a good time, though.
The thing is, like, you know, the fees for that event were $400 for that tent, right? I made close to $600. Did like close to $600 in sales, but I probably would have doubled that if it hadn't been for the rain, you know. So
that's what a lot of vendors were saying. That I was talking. A lot of the cigar guys were saying.
Yeah. And then I didn't get to visit most of the cigar guys that I wanted to go see because of the rain. And then, you know, my 17-year-old was learning how to take orders and stuff, but he's still kind of green to it, so I couldn't leave the tent for too long. I had to kind of stay within eyesight. But yeah, I turned down the ability to do it again. I'm not going to do that event again.
Okay. You had some good cigar guys around you. You had Banff right next to you. You had Karen Berger across the way. You had who else was right there? I think almost directly across from you was Black Star Line. He'll be on in a couple weeks with us.
Right on.
Yeah, you had a nice little spot there, and then you had that VIP area or whatever it was behind you.
Yeah, but that music was playing in VIP, and then the music was playing at the center of the event, and it was absolutely driving us nuts. Because like one would be like Spanish music, and the other one would be rap. And I'm like, I can't deal with both of these going on at the same time. It was very irritating. My poor wife, if she had been there, she would have left. She would have left the event. That would be like nails on a chalkboard for her.
It didn't blend together into a Spanish rap.
No, there was no Pitbull thing going on, brother.
Paul and Jerry, you guys did the plasmatic on an episode that I was not present for, yeah?
No, that's being saved for the Penelope cigar sessions.
Motherfucker. Okay. I gotta go get another one.
So you guys got a couple guys in here. Sib, he's a good dude. Small Batch Beer Co., awesome dude. Baker, another really good dude. Baker's got his own show as well. He was one of the first guys in the community that really started using the salve that I make, and it's been really, really helpful to him. So a couple of these guys are kind of like long-term users of my stuff, and it's really helped them out a lot. So, but yeah, I think, when was I on with you guys? What, September?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's been at least 4 months, 5 months, maybe. Yeah.
I think it was before I did that thing with, I started that partnership with Limb Loss Boss.
It was right. Yeah, September 14th. So yeah, it was right. We talked about it, but it wasn't released yet.
So yeah, it's been a while. My daughter just knocked on the door. You might have to have some kids coming in and out and say hi.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I will, on the cigar side of the house. So I want to tell you guys about a little lounge up in Blue Ridge, Georgia. Smoky Bear Lounge. George and Irina own it. Irina's from Cuba. He's Italian New Yorker. Awesome folks. They won Lounge of the Southeast last year. They have some absolutely banger cigars. They're little factories. They're not factory smokes, but they're in-house cigars. Their little in-house Maduros are $5.95 a piece, and they're honestly one of the smoothest, richest Maduros I've ever had. And the sweet cigars that my wife likes, honestly, like they could be a daily smoke. They're that good. They're sweet, but they're not like that nasty, like overly sweet, pungent thing that happens with some sweet cigars. Phenomenal. So Smoky Bear Lounge in Blue Ridge, Georgia. Great little place. The shipping is super fast. If you guys ever looking to support a really amazing small business, they are incredible people. Highly recommend them. So,
Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'll definitely I'm checking them out right now, actually.
yeah, they're really, really awesome people.
Yeah, it looks like a really cool spot.
Yeah. No TVs, right? It's an intimate, like 500 square feet between the main lounge and, the checkout area. And then you walk in the corner and there's a darker room that leads to a enclosed humidor. It's a smaller humidor, maybe about 175 square feet, but a really good selection, floor to ceiling. And it's a nice log cabin that got converted to a really great place to smoke a cigar. And that's why they won Lounge of the Quarter. I mean, it's no frills, but it's a real comfortable place to go smoke. And again, amazing people like that community of owners, community of business owners in Blue Ridge are some of the nicest groups of people I've ever met. You have pizza places that they're rivaling each other for business, but you had one that lost their industrial mixer. The other pizza business had an extra one and loaned it to them. Like you just don't see stuff like that, So it's a really cool community. But great lounge, absolutely fantastic lounge.
Yeah, it looks like a cool little place.
Yeah. So their smokes are really good. I just bought the factory smoke pack, the Maduro factory smoke pack from Drew Estates.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 25 Maduros, really good Maduros, $75 for 25 of them.
Yep.
I can't get over how good they are for the price. I mean, it's like you feel like you're ripping somebody off by getting 25 cigars for that price, and they're that good.
They're really good.
They're really good. So, a couple of really good people in here. Bob Ripper Dan, he's hilarious. So, there's some really good folks in the community. And I will say, too, that there's a lot of crossover with what you guys do. There's a lot of guys in the community that their cigars and they're really good bourbons and whiskeys and liquor, and it's unfortunate that we can't get more crossover, and it seems like there's a lot of fragmentation happening amongst the different bearded groups, which is unfortunate. But people will be people, right?
For sure.
So.
All right. Well, I am ready when y'all are ready.
Yep.
Who said yeah?
Yeah, we're good. We're
Okay,
already
cool.
on streaming and everything.
Yeah, sure. All right. Welcome to Bourbon Beards and Belvederes. I'm Adam.
And I'm Paul.
And I'm Jerry.
And today we're going live with one of the very few repeat guests that we've ever had. So you're in rarefied company, sir. We're here with Jacob Bain from BainBlends. It's great to have you back. How are you doing today?
I'm great, man. Looking forward to talking to you guys again.
Yeah, we had a great time last time, and we really appreciate you setting some time aside to talk to us. I'm personally glad you're back, just so that I can sing praises. And I'm blanking on what it's called now, but the salve that you make, it's been great for my eczema. It's reduced it to a dull roar as opposed to a scream and shout like it normally is. So it's great. I'm not having as much trouble with it, and I really appreciate you putting me onto that. It's great.
Yeah, it's my pleasure, man. I'm glad it's working for you.
Absolutely. So what's new in your world? It hasn't been that long since we talked to you, but things change pretty quickly.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah. Well, so October 1st, I started a partnership with the Limb Loss Boss. He's an influencer that missing his legs above the knee. We started talking, middle of the year, and got a good beard. He's a really good dude, family man, has a great outlook on life. And I love working with people like that. I love being friends with people like that. So we started a partnership, and he's getting a 20% of every sale for his line. What he's not even taking payment. He's just basically like wanting bottles to distribute to other influencers, and a lot of influencers with beards, but like for him, it's I could probably go 5 or 6 different routes and make more money, but I would rather work with really good people and try to get some of the products out to people that need it, like you're talking about with the salve. So I always tell him that I would rather talk to people that have a similar philosophy. There's a need. It's not just greed. We can be greedy all day long, but what good does that do you? That happened, and then sales skyrocketed after that. I think we did, a little bit of numbers here, but leading up to October 1st, I think I did like maybe $6,000, $7,000 in sales for the entire year. I ended up with just under 28,000 in sales for the year. So October 1st, things just absolutely exploded. Of course, I only made $20 because of taxes. But I basically just invested everything back into the company. Trying to improve, trying to get better ingredients. We switched out to meadow foam based. So we added a non-herbal blend that the main carrier's meadow foam. We still have our herbal blend because it's still really good for you, but there is an option for people if they don't like coconut or it doesn't work for them. And then there's a stigma with grapeseed oil for some reason. People don't understand that if you have something to preserve grapeseed oil, it doesn't go bad as fast as it does without something to preserve it. We just added a gray beard version of both, so guys with gray beards can get more castor oil in their mix, which is really good for a gray beard. Keeps it healthier, fuller, absorbs better. And then we've been trying to add like a lot more variety in our scent profiles over the last 6 months, 5 months, however long it's been. we're trying to add things that, you know, are a little bit richer, have a little bit more complexity and depth. We've done quite a few customs for people, like we did for the Lemlost Boss. Those were all customs that, you know, that someone will post it on a forum and I'll swoop in and say, I'll make it. And we make it, and it becomes part of the, you know, it becomes part of the normal sales. So we're trying to get better at what we're doing. We're trying to understand the process a little bit better. We're trying to get more refined, trying to make everything look better. But this is all learning for us. You know, when you do everything yourself, you have to sort of train your way into improvement, and that's what we've been trying to do. We started doing colognes, learning how to make colognes, learning how to make a cologne that balances well, that's masculine, that can project and last. So we stick to parfums, which is like 40% fragrance, 35 to 40% fragrance, depending on what it is. And we are probably going to be going into making our own liquid wash, researching how to do that the right way, making it so it's got the same richness and herbal qualities of the oil, because that just makes the wash better. And then I am working on a dry shampoo for a couple of cigar places near me. They want a dry shampoo for their customers to come in and try to get the smoke out of their beards or their hair. So we're working on that. And we might work on a few more custom carrier blends, but I don't see the need. You know, it kind of just depends on, you know, if there's a demand for it, we might try to make something new. But right now I just did a couple of customs for, oh man, I got blurry. Hello. I just did a couple of customs for a customer. So strawberries and cream and blueberries and cream. The wife of this gentleman was like, I can't do florals and I can't do this and I can't do that. I'm like, well, what can you do? Oh, strawberries and blueberries and a few other things. I'm like, all right, let's make some stuff. So we made that in a day and hand delivered it to somebody out in Plant City, which is close to us. And it was, yeah, we're pretty light on our feet with stuff like that. You know, we have the ability to do quite a bit quickly if we're asked to do it. So, and then April, I don't know if you guys know who Dan C is, but we just paid for the review for Dan C. And that's going to be coming in April. We still have to send all of our product off to him for that, but that'll be 2 months of nail biting to see how he feels about our product.
You know what scents you're sending out to him?
So he likes what's big for him in his wheelhouse is barbershop stuff. He likes mints. He likes lavender. Some citruses. He doesn't really like bourbons or tobaccos. So the herbal stuff that I make does really good with barbershop stuff. So I got a few I'm going to send him, probably Americana Tonic and the Cool Serenity. Send him some deodorants and the salve and the butter, and just kind of let him get a feel for our product. You know, kind of see what he has to say, and hopefully he likes it.
Yep.
But yeah, it has the potential to make the business, you know, really explode. So that's what we're hoping for. But you know, pretty much every dollar we made last year went right back into the company. I can make right now. I'm sitting on the ability to make about 2,000 1-ounce bottles of oil. So I've, you know, a lot more inventory than I had. The last time I spoke to you guys, I probably could make like 400 bottles of oil. But when we switched over to the new carrier blend, we decided then that we were going to, you know, be able to shift quickly. So we bought a lot of the oils that have a longer shelf life and they're ready to go. When I'm ready to make more stuff, I buy some of the stuff that has shorter shelf lives, get a brand new bottle. Takes about 3 days to get it in. we're ready to go pretty quick. So we don't want a lot of stuff to sit around, you know.
So I don't remember what was the oil that you took out for meadow foam.
We took out grapeseed out of out of the. That's completely gone now. The only thing that grapeseed is in, well, I shouldn't say completely gone, but it's still in the butters. I'm not gonna let 6 gallons of that stuff go to waste. Cocoa butter, shea butter, those kinds of things, they're not terrible to have in the grapeseed in the butters. They last a while still. But because I have vitamin E and some of the herbs I infuse, they naturally preserve some of the weaker oils like grapeseed. So I still have a bottle on my shelf that was 3.5 years old. It just went bad like a month ago from my original blend. In fact, it may even be older than that. So, yeah, and that has grapeseed in it. So,
yeah, 3 years ain't a bad thing.
No. What's really cool is Small Batch Beard Co. He's got these little bottles that have they're airproof, so there's no air in it. So when he pumps it, no air comes through. He's got a hemi-squalane. It's like wider than squalane, so he's got like a really light formula, very fast absorption. He's got a good product. So
I was looking at his website earlier this week. So probably get some of that eventually.
He spent quite a bit of time in research, and he's really knowledgeable about stuff. He's an interesting guy. So
yeah, basically talked about everything that's new. I don't remember you have a caffeinated growth oil now too, right?
Yeah, we're infusing green tea and some other things that it's not what I want it to be. It's maybe 2 micrograms per ounce. It's not a lot, but it's something to add some caffeine into the root. We're going to be adding green coffee bean extract at some point soon, which is going to add a substantial amount more of the caffeine. Rosemary is a really phenomenal ingredient for beard growth too. So there's already quite a bit there, and I add extra herbal stuff to it to make it stronger. So there's really no way around that herbal smell with that one, which some guys don't like, but whatever.
Yeah, like we said the first time you were on with the what was that scent? The lemon bourbon one.
Lemon bourbon blaze.
Yeah, it was strong at first, but it definitely dissipated over time. I actually put it on the other day. It's still a little bit there, but it's not. I don't know if I'm just used to it by now, but definitely died down a lot from that first initial crack of the bottle.
Yeah, it's that one's got to breathe, but with anything, if you wear it multiple times, if you don't reset your nose,
yeah,
your nose gets used to stuff. Like the first time I put on the Dr. Bain, that Dr. Pepper one I just made, it was super strong. I wore it the second day, it was like, where did it go?
Okay, so I got to stop you right there before we end up away from it. Does it smell like Dr. Pepper?
It does, yeah. So
then I'm going to buy you out. I'm going to buy every fucking bottle that you can drink. Dr. Pepper's the only thing I drink. I mean, with the exception of this water and some whiskey, it's Dr. Pepper for me. That's it. I love it. I love that. It's hands down the best thing that's ever been made by anybody ever.
Well, then it may be a tough sell for you. No, listen. It smells like Dr. Pepper. Okay, so with the dry down, nothing is ever perfect.
Right,
when
it
dries down, you're going to get that almond back note of Dr. Pepper. You're going to get it. You might have more of a opinion about it than most, for sure. But we made it with the Lost Cherry, Tom Ford Lost Cherry, because we didn't want it to simply just smell like Dr. Pepper. We wanted it to have a little bit more elegance to it, and for it to actually have the qualities that, dude, if you want to go on a date night with your wife, it's gonna smell good. It's not just gonna smell like you spilled a Dr. Pepper in your beard. You know what I mean?
Which I might do on purpose.
No, I've had a lot of great feedback on it. You know, I've had a few guys that have really loved it so far. I wish I could get everybody to review stuff, but you know, everybody does stuff on their own timing. But there's been a couple of reviews that have been absolutely fantastic. So, in fact, I can go pull one up right now if you want me to.
Yeah, you might. I mean, absolutely.
I know we're more laid back on this show, so it kind of gives me an opportunity to do it.
As he's looking for it on the website, or his website, it says, think cherry Dr. Pepper poured over polished cherry wood bar in a dim speakeasy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I could swing. I mean, like you said, the dry down, but that's with anything, and that goes hand in hand with what you were talking about a minute ago, how your nose gets used to. So anytime you put it on, right, immediately you put it in your beard, you smell what was on your hands, but after a couple minutes, you don't smell it so much anymore. And it's funny because one of the ones that I use on a regular basis, the other day, I was standing 3-4 feet away from somebody at a store, and you know, as they were I was checking out whatever, the guy on the other side of the counter, he's like, you know, what cologne is that? It's great. And I was like, it's not cologne, it's beard products, but you know, anyway, you know, he had a beard, and I told him what it was. The point is that, like, I didn't smell it, but he could smell it 3-4 feet away from me. So with that being the case, you know, what it smells like going on is obviously what I'm going to base it on, that, and then how it treats my beard, how my skin feels, all that good, which I don't need to worry about that with you. So, and your product. So for me, it would be, does this smell like Dr. Pepper immediately? I mean, it doesn't have to smell exactly like Dr. Pepper. Again, it doesn't have to smell like I spilled a Dr. Pepper into my beard. But if I can see the reason why you named it, you know, Dr. Bain in honor of Dr. Pepper, then that's going to be good enough for me.
Yeah, and make no mistake, like, we found a really good Dr. Pepper dupe. I did not come up with this on my own. We had a Dr. Pepper dupe that we found that we really liked. Okay, it's not perfect. Nothing's going to be perfect when it comes to Dr. Pepper, but it was good enough.
Dr. Pepper, right?
So it's not Dr. Pepper, exactly. But it was good enough that it allowed me the opportunity to still smell it, to still know what it was supposed to be. And I'm like, well, let me tease this. So I added the vanilla, I added the Tom Ford Lost Cherry, we added the bourbon to it. And there's a couple of things I just posted in it, but. So the first guy says, not what I was expecting at all, but dang it, I like it. I was expecting the scent to be more Dr. Pepper, but the scent is more of the spice of the Dr. Pepper with some bourbon blended in. The cherry of Dr. Pepper is present, but very deep. The scent is long-lasting and ages great, almost ending as a vanilla. The blends and the butter were great, and the beer was silky and smooth afterward. That was the first guy. Now here's the guy, Hillbilly Jim. This is the guy I love this guy. It's so funny. My God, I love this scent. I knew I probably would, seeing the description before I even received it. Just perfect soda-like cherry vanilla deliciousness. I got both the oil and the butter. Scent is enhanced when layered. Quality of oil and butter is absolute top shelf and feels amazing in beard. I hope that Bain never gets rid of this one. Highly recommend. And then another guy, I went with the Herbal Grey Beard Blend, 20% more castor blend, perfect viscosity for my beard. You get that syrupy cherry scent on first whiff. I can kind of get the Dr. Pepper spice in there because it's there, though I'd prefer that he brought up the cherry a little bit, which, all right. I can detect the almond woodish blend as well. Dr. Bain is a home run on my book. You all give this one a try. So, you know, listen, it's. I want to eventually improve it. I want to add more of that almond to it. I want to add some other elements to it to try to get it even closer. But you smell it, you know what it is.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So again, nothing's going to be perfect unless you got the secret recipe in your back pocket, which I don't have.
No, this some bitch is locked up just like the Coke recipe. But so a couple takeaways from what you just said. Number one, Hillbilly Jim's review there. Two things about that one specifically. Um, I bet that guy drinks moonshine. So he's I'm on board with his review anyway. Number two, I really want that to be Hillbilly Jim the wrestler. I'm sure that it's not, but that'd be amazing if it was. If you're not, are you familiar with Hillbilly Jim the wrestler?
No, I'm not. Tell me about
Okay,
him.
I'm gonna show him. I'm gonna show him to you real quick. I'm gonna do one better and show you a picture.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
The guy's got a great beard.
Yeah, man. That's him. So
That's
that's
funny.
And then the other takeaway would be that with the cherry and the bourbon, I'm sure Paul and Jerry know exactly where I'm going with this right now. A little Old Forester cherry bourbon. Cherry's a very prevalent, and I actually just drank some Old Forester Statesman, coincidentally, but cherry's a very prevalent note that people pick up more often than anything else within the Old Forester family of bourbons. Of course, they don't get that out of the rye, but with everything else, there's always a cherry note. An old Bain or something along those lines. We, at least the three of us, would be on board, especially Paul and I, because if you were to ask Paul and I, Old Forester can do no wrong. And Jerry, most of the time, agrees as well. It's a fantastic bourbon line, fantastic company. Just throwing that out there because it's the thought I had, and I want to throw it out there before I forget it because I will. But Hillbilly Jim, I mean, please, be the wrestler. That's all I can say.
Man, I need to go see if I can find his customer profile. See, do you happen to know his real name?
I can find it real quick.
Then wouldn't that be something else?
That would be James Morris is his name, and he's from Scottsville, Kentucky. That's just well, it's not. I don't want to say it's right up the road from where I live,
right?
But it's. I mean, there's a really good chance that I'm related to this man, honestly, because he's from Western Kentucky, which is where I'm originally from. So, at any rate, that's his name. So,
very cool. Yeah, I don't have a customer in my back office with that name, but interesting. Maybe he's got a pseudonym.
Maybe he might, but at any rate, that would be awesome. Clearly it's either somebody from the hills named Jim, or it's somebody that knows the wrestler. Maybe both. Who knows? But that would be awesome. So
yeah, I mean, I could always send you a sample instead of so you can smell it and see if you like it or not.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to turn that down. I wasn't going to ask either, but I'm definitely going to buy some either way. I've already committed to doing it on the air, and it's canon now in history. It's something I said I was going to do, therefore I'm going to do it. If for no other reason than to support your company in some small way. But I'm sure that I'll like it. I'm very, very intrigued by Coke and Dr. Pepper, my two all-time favorites. My grandfather ran Coke plants all over the United States when I was young, and my mother only drank Dr. Pepper, and the two just kind of. And then actually, my grandfather, when he retired from Coke, he went to work for a distillery, and then after that, he went to work for Pepsi, which bottles Dr. Pepper. Depending on which part of it does, at least here in the Southeast. There's, I think, Coke bottles some in different parts of the United States. Pepsi bottles it in other parts, but at any rate, Dr. Pepper and Coke have always been my thing. But Dr. Pepper has in my later life has really won out on that. But I don't know how many I've had at least 4 Dr. Peppers today.
Oh my gosh, dude.
That's taking it light right there. I mean, I start my day with a Dr. Pepper, I end my day with a Dr. Pepper, and all the minutes in between there's a Dr. Pepper involved. So I need to have my insides checked probably, but at any rate, I love it. I absolutely love it. I honestly don't know how my teeth have held up as well as they have. They're still in my head. I have them all. None of them are black. So that's a win for me. Just keep on keeping on.
I don't drink or eat a lot of sugar, and I'm still a big guy. And if I had a soda issue, if I even had one a day, I'd be like 80 pounds heavier than I am now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
so I envy you guys that have the hyper, you know.
Oh no, that's not me at all, man. I work out 5 days a week, and I'm a professional martial artist. So
there you go.
I'm fairly active. That being said, if I were to stop doing either one of those things, I'm sure that all of the sugar that I've ever taken in my entire life would just hit me.
Show up all at one time.
All of them. I would. My clothes wouldn't fit overnight.
Gotcha.
So, but I am intrigued by this. I am intrigued by this product. This Dr. Bain. What gave you the idea to try to make something like a Dr. Pepper-esque scent for your line?
I mean, we try to buy numerous fragrances and essential oils that look appealing to us. Mm-hmm. We'll use a fragrance that we find that might be complex that we want to add to it, or we use it as a baseline because it's got a really nice depth smell to it. Then we'll try to build off of it after that, adding new elements to it. But I would say overall that this is the majority of how a majority of the beard companies do things. But there are some really phenomenal companies, and we're always trying to be better. So I'm not even putting myself in that same realm. But there are some really good companies out there that build things from scratch, and they're constantly tinkering and constantly playing with scents and depth of scent to try to figure out something new. Like Preston that just jumped in the chat here, Boston Bearded. He's a beard company guy, or a beard a customer that's been around for years, and he knows what he wants. And we've built some stuff for him based off of things that he's wanted that have been phenomenal. In fact, my wife's working on some for him right now. He's helped us understand, the usage of different types of woods and citruses and stuff like that we never would have thought of before. Other than the miracle that is AI now, because AI is constantly learning how my business operates.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll look for something new. Like I just got this for Boston Bearded. He wanted birch as part of a scent profile that he wants built. So I went out and I found birch tar, which is a essential oil, and I've never smelled anything like it. I mean, it's so if you smell like burnt wood, right? But that's not been wet. It's just burnt wood. It's got this like really deep, resinous, tar-like smell. And it's got to be freshly burned. It can't have sat for a few days. It's got to be freshly burned, but not wet. That's what this smells like. It's got this absolutely incredible scent profile that I don't know how we're going to use it, but we're going to use it how he wants it. And so I'll go plug in 3 or 4 scent ideas. I'd be like, well, I want to have birch, and I want to have blue spruce, and I want to have cedar, but I want to have like this bourbon absolute extract to go in it, right? And so I don't waste. This is all about wasting product. I don't want to waste product. I only have so much money to build things. So I'll plug it into AI. I said, I want to have something that has this bourbon finish, but I want to have all these woods that are present, and it'll help me build that profile out. Like, try it with this percentage of how this smells like. I tell it smells like deep dark molasses with a little bit of charred cedar, and it'll say, oh, that's interesting, and what else you're plugging into it, you tell it what it is. It'll help actually figure out percentages, so that way when I go mix stuff, I don't have to sit there and waste a lot of product time,
Sure.
money to try to solve an issue. But it's nice to have that, but there's nothing that beats a nose. And there are so many customers out there that have come up with phenomenal ideas that when I go look at my product shelf and all the fragrances and essential oils I have, and I'll have a customer say, well, I really want orange, and I really want lime bergamot, and I really want some wood to go with it, some wood fragrance to go with it, or essential oil. Pick out 8 or 9 different things off my shelf and come down, and a couple of drops in a cup of this, a couple of drops in a cup of that, and tinker. And the tinkering's a blast. 95% of what's on my website is us tinkering and saying what might work, what might not work. Does this cologne that we just bought smell really good? What can we add to it? It's a fun process, and you end up getting something that's unique. And you can make deodorants. You can do a really good deodorant for 90% of the stuff that we've made. You can make really good butters out of most of the stuff that although I wouldn't do it for a few of them, but it's all about the process. I'm sure it's the same way for guys that make alcohol, or cigars. What do you have to work with? What's going to work in the moment for what you're trying to create in that moment for the customer that's trying to get a certain scent profile out of it. But not all of it's going to work. I've had customers ask me for stuff. I'm like, I can't make that work because I can't find a fragrance that doesn't immediately give me a headache. So I won't be able to make it. And they might like it, but I'm not going to sell it on my website. I'm not going to have it in my house. I'm not going to potentially put my kids at risk if it's a really bad scent. If it gives me a headache immediately, I sure as heck know that my kids shouldn't smell it. My wife shouldn't smell it. My mother, who's living with us, shouldn't smell it. Or the dogs. You know that dogs and cats can die from bad fragrances. That's how bad it can get.
No, you're talking more like with that. You're talking more like bad fragrances that are probably just poorly made or something like that have harsh chemicals. Have you ever came across a scent that wasn't like that, but just was like horrible to your nose, and was just like something you thought would be good, and then you were just like completely bummed that it turned out to be just awful?
Yeah, there's one that we bought a long time ago that was like a black saffron, but it was not real. And I thought for sure it was going to be fantastic, but it's super strong. So if I work with it, I have to be outside, and I have to only drop a few little drops at a time in order to get it to work. Otherwise, it just overpowers everything. And there's a few fragrances that we bought over the last year or two that, like, if we work with them, we can only use a fragment of what, like smoke. There's some smoke fragrances, or even a smoke essential oil that we bought. You cannot have that in the house. And if you put one drop in a 1 ounce bottle, it ruins it. One drop. So you have to take that oil and you have to put the oil in a dropper, and then you have to use the dropper to drop one tiny drop into something that you're making in order to make it work. Just super strong.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. So,
but it'll go a long way, right? You
Oh,
don't have to
sure.
use a whole lot of it for a whole long way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's never going away. I'm never going to have to do anything with that other than take a bottle, put it in a bottle of oil, and that bottle of oil is my smoke. And I mean, I'll never get rid of it. So, yeah. But, yeah, Preston, you're right. Crappy quality fragrances can be toxic to animals and humans. And the other thing is, too, is like even the stuff that vaporizes the scent and puts it in your home, if you have animals, you should never use them.
Yeah.
Other than essential oils, and even essential oils can be toxic too to animals. So, I mean, that does. I mean, imagine how it hurts a human, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, in that vein, we've only managed to find one product, and we might have talked about this the last time you were on here, but we managed to find one product that we thought was great. And after we had it on, we went back and found a bunch of shit about this particular product that we didn't like at all.
Right.
And it was because we used it. We only used it for a couple of days before we had it on, and we used it longer after the fact. We got back on here. I was like, my fucking face is killing me. Like, this is awful. And it was not not natural ingredients is basically what it boils down to. And we got back on here and put out another episode, and I think it was a Halloween episode maybe. We just shit all over it. We're just like, fuck this. This company sucks, and fuck them, and fuck everything that they stand for, and everybody that looks like them. This shit's awful. Don't use it. Whatever. And that was an early episode. That was pretty early into episode 1 or season 1, and we got smarter about what we look for in companies, and I mean, obviously that's something we liked about yours, all natural ingredients. But those shitty ingredients, like you said, I mean, they can do more damage than you think. But in terms of anything that we would talk about on this show, putting it on your face, it can really suck. It can really fucking suck. Breakouts, allergies, all that good stuff. You never know when an allergy is gonna, okay, what do they call it when your fucking throat closes up?
Anaphylactic shock.
There you go, anaphylactic shock. Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know when something like that's going to be caused by something that's in your beard products, whatever. So definitely want to look for the ingredients, and even if they got the big long chemical name on there, look them up, because you might find that that's just somebody being scientific about something that's actually occurring in nature as opposed to something synthesized in a lab.
Yeah.
That's with whiskeys, and especially when we're doing a blind or cigars. We'll tell you. We had a cigar on here one time that Jerry and Paul loved, and I damn near threw up right here at my bar. I had to like got real sick and had to leave and just quit that episode. And it's like, nope, fuck that cigar. I'm never smoking another one of those, and I haven't and I won't. But we will tell you if something's shitty, and that's something we really like about your products for sure. Is they're not shitty. All natural ingredients. That's the way to go. So
and there again we do use some fragrances that are not exactly from nature, but we try to stick to the guidelines. No phthalates. Meet the California, as weird as California can be, they do have a lot of really good recommendations and guidelines when it comes to certain fragrances. So we always try to buy things that fit inside massive amounts of safety protocols if it's not an essential oil. And again, like if it's super offensive, we just don't use it. If it does not, I wouldn't have even done fragrances had it not been for most of the guys in the community that wanted something custom that I could not make using essential oils. But I have my limits. I won't put too much fragrance in a bottle because it's not good for you. Your oil is supposed to shine for a purpose. You're not supposed to wear oil in your face so you smell like you walked, through the French Quarter and people are like getting you to smell shit. That's not the purpose of it. The purpose of oil is to make your skin and your beard healthy. There are way too many companies that put way too much fragrance in their bottles.
So smelling like I walked through Macy's is a bad thing, is what you're saying to me?
Yes, there it is. Yeah. I mean, oh, my wife is going to make me an old fashioned. That's cool.
That's a good wife right there.
Yeah. Well, I figured I'd join you guys in having a glass of something.
Sure.
I don't drink very often at all, but a lot of guys just don't understand that they need to take a break. When you wear beard oil, you should not do 2 days in a row or 3 days in a row. You need to take a break because there's another company now, Sunshine State Grooming. Greg, his name's Greg. We've had a few podcasts we've done where we talk about that. Your sense of smell tells you if there's something dangerous in the environment. And if you can't detect that, you run the risk of getting something something happening in the environment that you can't retreat from fast enough. Right? And if your sense of smell is not on point all the time, you run the risk of getting hurt. There's been trains that derail and crap leaks out and you can't smell it. If you don't have that early warning system saying, hey, danger's nearby, get the fuck away from it, how do you manage, right? So a lot of guys put all this fragrance right here. And if I put any fragrance, I put down here. I don't put stuff underneath my nose. My Dr. Bain is half the strength of what I sell to a customer. I don't want all that fragrance on my face. I just don't want it. And you also can damage your pores, which guess where your beard hair comes from.
Right.
You run the risk of damaging your skin your hair follicles. Thank you, dear. You run the risk of damaging your hair follicles. You run the risk of messing up your pores, which can cause acne, which your sebum generates from your pores. If your sebum's messed up, it's bad for your hair too. So
that's naturally occurring skin oils. Just for those that may not know what sebum is, it's not. We're not talking about a money shot. Okay, we're talking about
Hey, cheers to the money shot.
Cheers. I can't cheers yet. I've got an empty glass. So give me a minute.
No.
Yeah, I'll raise it up there here in a second. I have too many choices here next to me. It's much like with beard oil, right?
Yeah.
Like fucking what do I go with? And that's, you mentioned taking a break. That's something I only put product on, and I've been using beard oils and things like that for a long time. I don't even know, close to 10 years, something like that, regularly. But I only put it on probably twice a week,
right?
Maybe 3 times a week, because even with good oils, and I tend to use more balms. Like I don't use butters. It's put it in there and my whole beard is white until I can get it worked in well enough. I just don't really care. I like the balms. But even with balms, if it gets down onto your skin, that waxy buildup can cause the hair follicles to become painful, like truly painful. The same can happen with oils, whether you realize it or not, because they're going to dry. And if they're shitty and they're not absorbed properly, then that's going to clog up those hair follicles as well, and your pores and everything, and you're going to have pimples, and it's going to be painful. So one thing I do to mitigate that is 2 or 3 times a week when I'm in the shower, I will scrub the skin under my hair with my fingernails, exfoliate and get all that crap out of there. But I only put product on my face. I put some on today because I hadn't since Thursday. So I only do it every couple days, unless I'm reviewing something, then I will use it for probably a week straight. Um, Most of the time. Last couple times that we've thrown something in the mix, Jerry and Paul are like, "You guys been using this?" No, I haven't. So I'm, a failure. But at the same time, I don't have time, whatever. But it ends up working out because it's not these products. No matter how natural they are, I don't use them every single day.
Yeah.
But again, part of that is less not having time and more, um, just not wanting to put something on my face all the time. I just don't want to.
Well, and also given the fact that you're into martial arts, I mean, you're probably grappling a lot and on the ground a lot. I wouldn't want my beard oil rubbing off on people.
Well, there is that, and part of it. I mean, that's part of what I do. I don't teach, so I have a school, um, and I teach stand up stuff. It's rooted in Krav Maga and Taekwondo, um, and kickboxing. But jujitsu, you can see this here on my shirt. That's probably why you said that. That's something I train. I don't teach. Um, and there it wouldn't really matter. Actually, it might do me some good to have some product on and make it a little slicker because these motherfuckers rip them shits out like you wouldn't believe. Somebody asked me if I wanted to roll, and we went over to where I'd been standing, and he looked down and he goes, "Somebody got their pubes ripped out." I said, "No, all of that is from my face, not my crotch." But it's it gets ripped out in huge clumps all the time, and so it might actually do me some good. Maybe their hands will just slide right off. But yeah, having that get off on somebody like that, you're right. I mean, it would be somewhat embarrassing to look up and see a beard print on their gi or something like that. But um, you know, that's part of. But part of it too is that I take so many showers. Right, I go to train, I sweat. I got to take a shower before I go teach or whatever. I have a day job as well. That's not my only job. I work for University of Kentucky, so I may have to go in there. Um, you know, my point, and I don't want to be stinky, so I'm taking several showers throughout the day. It's not cost effective for me to use these products every day because I'm going to wash it out and then want to reapply it. And so, once every couple of days is about all that I've got in me. I can't imagine keeping a schedule where you would be applying beard product 14 times in a week at least. It's just not, I don't say 14 because I don't. Saturday and Sunday are my days off from everything. I don't do shit on the weekends as much as I can. So I might apply it on a Saturday if I'm going out or something like that, but at least 10 times a week, we'll say. At least 10 times. It's just, I'm going to break the bank doing that, and I don't have the time to do that either. So that's a lot. That's a lot of upkeep. You got to take care of it.
Sure.
You got to make sure that it's in good health, just like everything else with your body. But you can't overdo it. Just like if it's moderation, right?
Oh yeah. Well, and that's why like having an unscented oil, just to, even if you're just dropping like a quarter of a dropper on either side of your face and brushing it in, I mean, that'll keep the skin healthy and your beard healthy, and you don't have to overdo it by any stretch. And if you're using like a really light stripping wash, I mean, you really don't even need to put beard oil in. Like you said, you don't need to put beard oil in all the time anyway.
Right.
But you use that really harsh overstripping wash, you're going to destroy your beard quickly,
Yeah, what I tend to do I'll use a beard wash probably twice a week, but the rest of the time when I'm exfoliating, it's just hot water in my fingernails,
Yeah.
Because I mean, I never had a really bad problem with acne when I was a teenager, but it wasn't the greatest experience for me, right? So, I don't want that either. And I don't know if people know this, but pimples under a beard are just the worst,
Yeah.
especially if they're painful, right? Because you can't get a good enough grip underneath the hair to get that some bitch popped, and it's a huge pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So to not have to deal with that is great.
I used to get them all the time until I started using my own beard oil. I haven't had a single one in my beard since I started using it. Not one. So, but it's the power of the herbal infusion, man. If it's keeping your hair follicles healthy and you're in keeping your keeping your losing my train of thought. Just keeping your hair follicle and everything healthy, you're not going to have that issue. Cheers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So your pores, thank you. So yeah, keeping your hair follicles and your pores healthy, and you won't get them. But to your point, like doing too much is always bad.
Mm-hmm.
So, but to the previous point about fragrance, there are the IFRA standards, and the IFRA standards do matter because you put too much fragrance in it, you can hurt somebody. And I always tell the guys all the time in the different chat groups we're in or the different calls that we do, I said, you're doing everybody a disservice if you walk in a room and everybody smells you. If you want to put a cologne on that's meant to project, alcohol helps with that. But you don't put that on your beard. That's sort of a different scenario, right? But you're putting a whole bunch of fragrance on your beard and people can smell you when you walk into a room. Like I've worked with people at the VA that worked from home with like the highest quality HEPA air filter possible because she could go into anaphylactic shock by smelling the wrong thing. And that is becoming more and more of a reality for people as we get more toxic. And I don't mean like, toxic social media. I mean like our crap gets more toxic that we use that on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
So we are not getting healthier. And I think there's a growing movement in the community for healthier products. And it's a good thing because you're seeing a lot more responsible usage from customers and a lot more responsibility of care towards the customers by owners. So, but there are a couple bad actors. And hate to say it, Fable's one of them. But
who?
Fable.
Fable.
Fable had such a bad reputation that they started fixing stuff. And they no longer blow people's noses out. But there are some companies out there that it's way too much fragrance. And unfortunately, there's still too many that are out there that put too much fragrance on their stuff. So, but I have seen a lot of change in the last 2.5 years since I started doing this stuff, and I've seen a lot more change in the last 6 months. A lot more conversations about that. Some really good companies out there, like Rugged Pirate's a great company. Sunshine State Grooming, really great company. Bearded Death has just been getting better and better all the time, even though I made his first batch of deodorant, which was his Norse code, which is vanilla and leather. I made 20 sticks for him. My house smelled like crappy vanilla and leather because it was pure fragrance. It smelled so bad for 6 days in my house. I've told him this. He knows. We made a joke about it on the different, videos that we've been on together. But it was terrible because it was so potent and strong. But it literally took 6 days for that fragrance to get out of my house.
Yeah, I feel like some of the, I guess, bigger companies, maybe I feel like they want to use that scent as almost like an advertisement. Like you walk in the room and, oh, who smells like fresh squeezed oranges and things like that. I feel like they think it's going to be like, oh, somebody's going to ask this purchaser, what is that? What is that you're wearing? And that's going to be like a marketing thing for them. When in reality, like you said, it's overpowering, and yeah, you don't want to smell somebody walk into the room. And I feel like there's definitely a few that focus on that more so than actual, quality ingredients, and you're really just wearing perfume on your face. You're not taking care of your beard, essentially.
Well, if you have a significant other that's going to be touching your face, your kids are getting in your face, your pets are getting in your face, like you technically are endangering them by having that happen. And I hate to say it that way, but that's just the reality of it. It's just the truth.
That's a perfect excuse to wear it, so that they stay the fuck over there.
Depart from me.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. My wife, she wouldn't care anyway, and you don't want the kids, at arm's length, but sometimes you do. So sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just had to say that.
No, you're fine.
So looking at her sheet, I don't remember which product it was. I think it was a multiple Bearded Death back 2 years ago, and I think he only had like 2 or 3 cents at that point.
Yeah.
It was like vanilla, and I think we had vanilla, and then there was something else. And then next thing I know, like 2 months later, it might have been, I looked on his website and he had like 3 or 4 more cents. And then you did the collab with him, or whatever you want to call it, which we'll have to talk about here in a minute. And I went on his website and he had like 3 pages, it looked like, of different products and scents. I was like, holy shit, I hate to say it, but I kind of forgot. We go through so many different products for all 3 different whiskeys, cigars, and beer products. We go through so many that you kind of forget about some of them. And
not yours.
And I was like, shit, we're going to have to go back to this guy and try some of this new stuff out, because I remember liking it.
Dan's had a lot of collaborations with the Bearded Villains and with the oh my gosh, I'm losing my train of thought. Bearded Villains and the there's one other one besides the. He's got the Renegades. There's one other one that he's done stuff with, but his primary ones are the Renegades and the Villains. So he's done so many collaborations that he's added a whole bunch of fragrances because of those collaborations. Like, we tend to add stuff because we're just making new stuff that we're excited about. We have customers that want something, and we're sort of building onto what we're doing. He's had so many collaborations with certain chapters. Like, you should see his business model. When we did that collaboration between him and I, he basically just straight up made Man Cave Caveman, right? He sold, in one day, he sold more bottles of Caveman than I sold Man Cave in a year. If that tells you anything about the amount of interaction and following that Dan has for Bearded Death. It's just he's got the look for it. He's a big monster guy that is intimidating. He's got a heart of gold. He's actually a puppy dog, but don't tell anybody that. But he's got a great business model, but he's really good at merch. He does merch for a lot of the different chapters of the different beard clubs, and he's got a heart of gold. He's helped so many companies like myself figure things out and help us get started, that it's a blessing that he's just getting repaid for all the good that he does in the community. But that man has sold more beard oil, probably more than 15 to 20 other companies combined. So, but I've been encouraging him to diversify his oils, make his oils richer, make his oils, add some other oils to him. And now he's got meadow foam in one of his oils, and he might be adding it overall. But he's given me plenty of opportunity to try to help other companies as well. develop deodorant or, try to help them with different blends or whatever. But he's just a good guy. So he's really good at the web page stuff. He's really good at making stuff pop on his page. I try to take notes about what he does all the time so I can try to improve. And he's always willing to answer questions. So he's not a gatekeeper by any stretch. Treats his customers really well. Doesn't bad talk customers behind their backs or to their faces, as some companies have done. Bigger companies have done. We've got really good guys in the community that have been treated like utter dog shit from some of the company owners that are out there. And some of the reason why we did the collab that we did was to sort of say, hey, we're not going to go steal intellectual property and market it as our own to create FOMO. We're just going to steal each other's property and in a way say, hey, we're doing something that doesn't belong to us, but we have permission. You know what I mean? Because it's weird that some of these companies are offering product that are clearly not theirs. If you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we're not going to go into any specifics, but stuff that's clearly not theirs, and they're throwing some cents in it, and people are buying it. And then 6 months later, or 3 months later, or a few weeks later, it shows up on the buy, sell, trade Facebook pages. Because for most of these folks, and it's not just for beard oils, but FOMO is a big driver for a lot of business. And if you can get someone to reminisce about something that's from their past, you can get somebody to buy something, right? Well, Jerry, what if you buy something that you don't like, but you bought it because it has a pretty logo? What are you supposed to do with that after that?
Shit out of luck. I know the three of us have done that with whiskey before, at least once. You buy something you see or you hear about and you buy it and it's complete garbage to your palate or whatever.
Yeah.
Stuck with it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Then that's when you wait till you have COVID, can't smell or taste anything, put it in a hot toddy and drink the whole damn thing before you get your taste and smell back. I did exactly that. So I'm speaking from experience.
Yeah. Hot toddy's where it's at if you're sick, for sure.
I mean, they're kind of fantastic if you're not. You know what I mean? But
the point is, like, you don't want to just. When I did the Dr. Bain thing, I could have just made. There's other companies that have literally just put something out and it said Dr. Pepper as an example, right?
Sure.
I could have done that. Maybe I'm small. This is the excuse I've heard. These companies are too small for anybody to do anything about it. Is that a good excuse?
I think that's
make them do it.
That's a logical fallacy. Just because they don't give a fuck how small you are, they will ruin your life if they need to.
Yeah.
Or if they want to, if they feel like they should.
Yeah.
They don't care if you're,
talking about that.
Jacob Bain hanging out in Florida, just kind of doing his own thing with a small company, and all of a sudden they see you say Dr. Pepper and like, oh no, fuck that. If they want to, they will fuck your life up. They will absolutely ruin your life.
Talk about that. We our whiskey society here in Jacksonville did a Rebel Reserve, or what is that called? The Rebel Distillers Collection, whatever the single barrel Rebel is. And MGP sent a cease and desist for the sticker that we put on it.
Oh my.
And MGP, one of the biggest contract distilling or sourcing distilling companies out there, sent our president a cease and desist because the label was based off the old Fitzgerald sticker. Obviously, it's the same mash bill and all. And yeah, they sent a cease and desist. He has that framed up in the house now.
So you should have made that the tater sticker, just a copy of the cease and desist.
That's it.
If you guys saw our label, it's styled similar to Dr. Pepper, but does it say Dr. Pepper?
Mm-mm.
No. Dr. Bain. It's at least 50% different. It becomes parody, right?
That's how. So one of the guys in the group is an actual like trademark lawyer or whatever you call them, and he reached out to them and was like, "Yeah, you guys can't do anything because it doesn't say anything about any of your brands. It's two words put together, basically called the Old Fitz Rebel."
Right.
And they're like, "Yeah, everything's changed. Like, it has the color scheme and it has the crest, but everything else is completely different."
Right.
It just kind of fell away.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what you should do. But if you take a movie poster, or if you take a logo or a character and you slap it on your bottle and do no changes,
That's where the issue comes out.
it happens all the time, you know. And I don't blame the consumers for buying that stuff. I don't. It's not the consumer's fault, but it should not be happening. I mean, you're not putting a label on your face, right? You're putting a product on your face. And if it smells good, great. If it smells like it's going to be good for your skin, if it's going to be good for your nose and people are going to like it, fine. But why name it something that clearly doesn't belong to you, that you haven't gotten permission? And a lot of people know this, so I'm not afraid of saying it, but I knew Hulk Hogan. His kid played at the ice rink that I played at and worked at. I saw Hulk Hogan all the time. We called him Terry. You know, I met Brooke Hogan when she was a short, chubby 12-year-old girl, right? She wasn't. When I saw her on MTV 6 years later, she wasn't short and chubby.
Yeah, that whole family made their rounds around Florida.
Can you get Hulk Hogan for this podcast?
What was that?
Can you get Hulk Hogan for this podcast?
Well, he's deceased, so that would be hard.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Shit, yeah. I forgot. Shit.
But you know, I ran into him hundreds of times, and he was great. Gave his time. He was always super generous. Mm-hmm. You know, he gave money to the league, so the league did better and could grow. But there's companies that slapped his face on a bottle and sold it. Like, that's, to me, that's just money being grabbed. Now, if you've got an agreement with the estate and you got a bunch of money going to charity, man, that's awesome.
A little different.
It's different. But I guarantee you that didn't happen for all but maybe one company that did it. I don't agree with that. I could have made $5,000 on several releases if I had followed what other companies had done. But I'm just not that person. And the Dr. Bain was as far as I would go. Right? And we may do stuff like that in the future. But it's going to be different than me saying Dr. Pepper. You know, we're going to do strawberries and cream Dr. Bain here pretty soon. So, yeah. But, you know, we're constantly trying to push ourselves to get better. We're going to do a pretty big series. We've been planning it for a couple of months now, but we're going to do a pretty big series of barbershops from various places around the world. That's been about 2.5-3 months in the making, but I had a real bad allergy to mango. I ate some mangoes and I touched my eye, and it affected my entire body like I rolled around in poison ivy.
Shit.
And that put a stop to me testing anything, smelling anything, I couldn't use beard oil at all.
Interesting.
On my skin at all for 3 weeks. So I had to put a stop to even thinking about making anything new for that 3-week period. So we're going to start working on that. after the Florida Man games coming up on the 21st, which is going to be wild. You guys ever heard of that? The Florida Man games?
No.
I'm going to be a vendor at the Florida Man games. It's going to be absolute balls to the wall freaking chaos.
So I'll send you guys a link. So they have it's basically a whole thing of legit Florida Man games. One of them is
Looking it up.
basically
right
I don't know the name of it, but you basically run away from the local police while you're trying to like steal catalytic converters and copper from the street that they lay around. Yeah, they do. Like, you think Florida Man, they have a game on it.
They do, yeah.
It's awesome. Like, they had it up here in St. Augustine. Was that last year or the year before? I was going to go to it, but I had to work, so I couldn't. If you've ever seen OMG, it's Wix on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, he's the one that says, like, flip phone activate. He's, like, one of the hosts or one of, like, the main dudes that I think he's doing it again this year. He was up here doing it, but yeah, it's hilarious.
Yep, I'm looking at it, and the Hurricane Party Prep sounds right up my alley.
Basically, a supermarket suite. Remember the game back in the day, supermarket suite, but with violence.
Sure. And a new event, the Naked Rampage. I don't know what it is, but I want in.
Come on down, brother.
It'll be with my involvement. It'll definitely be entertaining. It'll be something to point and laugh at.
Next weekend.
Yeah, there's gonna be a couple of the guys from Super Troopers. Two of those guys from Super Troopers going to be there. Oh yeah, Farva.
And then Lane Pittman, the guy that the meme of the guy sitting out in the hurricane holding the American flag.
Oh yeah,
he's from Jacksonville. He's one of the main dudes.
It's going to be a good time. So
evading arrest obstacle course.
I saw that. Historically, I've had a bad record with evading arrest. 4 times they've tried to arrest me, and 4 times they've been successful. So I'm going to abstain from that event.
You got the mechanical gator, the human beer pong, where you put the those big blow up tubes on or whatever.
Yep.
And jump into the damn.
Yep.
Can't get much more Florida than the mugshot wall.
Yep.
I have 4 of those to put on there, so I got a pretty good chance of winning. It sounds like I have become more. Florida Man is intriguing in its own right, but the TV show, if folks haven't seen it, I think that's on HBO.
It's weird.
Definitely worth watching. It's hilarious.
Gotcha.
It's all it's true accounts of people that live in Florida that have been involved in something fucking crazy, and it's absolutely worth watching. They get celebrities to play, some of these folks, and it's hilarious. There was one. It's the finale of the 2nd season. There was a girl that got trapped beneath a headstone, and that's all I'm going to tell you. It was a giant cross that fell on her, and she was stuck there. Hilarity, absolute hilarity from beginning to end.
Yikes! That sounds. What show is this?
It's called Florida Man. It's Florida Man. There's a space between Florida and actually there's a comma between Florida and Man. But it's on HBO, I believe, and it's absolutely worth the watch. There's 2 seasons. And it's really good. It's a really good show. It's hilarious. But the Florida Man games is something brand new unto me. And an excuse as if I needed one. I've got 2 buddies that live in Florida. I've got an uncle and an aunt that live in Florida. Actually, I've got 2 aunts that live in Florida. And now I've got the Florida Man games. So,
maybe we'll try to find something to do next year because it's next weekend. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, well, I
21st.
can't, next week I can't do that. But
We'll have to figure it out or see where it's at next year.
yeah,
See if
yeah.
we can make something happen.
Oh, is it in a different place every year?
All around Florida. Yeah. Last year was, I think it was last year was St. Augustine. This year, was it Bradenton? Brandon?
Bradenton.
Yeah, somewhere around the Tampa area.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's basically due east to where I'm at. Due east by maybe a 30-minute drive.
Florida seems to get a bad rap, but you know, it's pretty fucking magical. I love Florida. I love it.
And I'll be in just north of Orlando on Saturday for the Orlando Boutique Cigar Festival. Hayes Gray guys will be there, so I'm going to meet up with them. John Aldi may be there with the Cigar Clown, so I'm go there for a couple hours, smoke some cigars, meet some people that we've talked to in the past, and see. They're doing a cut and light on Friday. Unfortunately, I don't feel like driving 3.5 hours to meet them, to drive 3.5 hours back home just to drive another 2 hours the next day. So I'll have to wait until Saturday to meet all the guys. But yeah, I completely Florida Man games for this week. For some reason I was thinking they were in like March or April.
Yeah, depending on how this thing goes, like this might become something I do on a regular basis, but it's just exposure for me more than anything else, you know? Yeah, I mean, if I could listen, guys, if I could tell you like what happened with my sales this year, it's crazy what happened, but I posted up my sales this year into a group that I'm in just to kind of show them, because Dan from Bearded Death's in the group. But this is where I'm at, where I want to go. I'm hoping the Florida Man Games helps me get there. But from 2024 to 2025, I had almost 1,900% growth in my company.
I
had 298 returning orders, meaning customers that came back for a second round. My returning customer rate was 157% improvement.
Nice.
First time orders was 302. So I had 298 returning orders out of 302 first time order customers. I mean, orders in and of itself, I had 608 orders for 2025. I had 38 for all of 24. You know, so like the fact of the matter is, like, we've done a lot. We have a lot more to go. I want the point where I can hire my 17-year-old to go in there and fill the 35, 40 orders a day. That's what I want. You know what I mean? I want to be like, I sold out, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not going to have it restocked for a week. That's what I want.
Oh, yeah.
Well, 17-year-old 17, still living in your house. So to me, it's go in there and do this.
Yeah, I know. Well, I want to be able to pay him. I want to be able to pay him to go do it. And, you know, that's what I want.
Sure.
But
hey, until then, it's called an internship.
Mm-hmm.
True. Yeah.
But yeah, you posted a graphic not too long ago saying since November you sold over 500 ounces of the new Meadow Foam seed-based oils, blends, whatever.
Yeah.
That is insane for 2 months, 2.5 months, something like that.
October 1st to January. That was how much I've sold of that. Wow, that's nuts. So, you know,
that's good.
Orders later on, the average order for my business was $32.80. But I mean, I've got customers that have bought 2, 3, 4, 5 oils at a time. So, you know, I did about half the overall volume that Bearded Death did last year. But from where I went to where I've been, I've got a bunch of loyal customers. I mean, I have a lot of customers that are, you know, they use other companies, but they're like, you know, my stuff's always going to be on their shelves. That's happened a lot. You know, of my customer base, more than half of my customer base has said, yeah, like, you're going to be in our rotation quite a bit, if not always in the rotation top 5. So, to build on that, to try to increase that is going to be hard work, but we're going to keep trying to improve and trying to do new things to try to get those customers that, hey, we don't really want that herbal blend. Okay, I'll give you a non-herbal blend to try. It's not as good for your skin, but it'll still be good for you, right? So,
how are the sales for the non-oils blend or non-herbal oil blend going?
I think we've maybe done since we introduced it a month and a half ago, we've probably done about 100 ounces of it.
Because I was wondering whether we wanted to do it on the show or just me by myself. I kind of want to get whether it's a little sample thing or a full jar of one of the oils that I have from you in the herbal blend and in the non-herbal, and just kind of do a week with the herbal, a week without the herbal, and kind of see what the difference is. Just kind of a little science, just something fun to do, a little science.
Yeah. A little bit of science experiment.
Always science about this. And then we have to use great products.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I've noticed the guys with bigger beards, the herbal oil tends to linger longer. The scent sort of is prevalent. So there's a guy named Jeremiah. He's got at least an 18-inch long beard. So he would use 3 droppers of my herbal oil, and it was just the rosemary and some of the other scents, and there was too much. And he's actually one of the main reasons why I switched to meadow foam and took out the other 2, coconut oil and coconut and grapeseed. Because feedback is feedback, right? And if I can remove, even though those oils are a little cheaper, I think they're still great for your skin, but whatever. Even though they're cheaper and they're easier to fill out a 5-gallon mix of oil, I'm like, I can add in a gallon of meadow foam at $135 to $140 a gallon, which it's that expensive, and add the other oils into it. And meadow foam in and of itself is a great preservative. So you've got the ability to have a really good oil that will last a long time because it is in and of itself, it has antioxidant properties. So I might as well switch. I mean, I had to bring my prices up a little bit, but okay. I mean, I charged $4 more an ounce, but it was worth it. It made my oil better. And I don't have to make 5 gallons of both. What I do is I strain out my herbal avocado. I have that on the side. And anytime I need to mix more, I add the appropriate ratios with that avocado herbal infused with the meadow foam oil, and I have it perfectly. And no, I don't need to make 5 gallons of each. I just need to make 5 gallons of the meadow foam one and then add the herbal as needed.
Yeah,
and it worked out great.
Your oils for looks like $22 right now, which is maybe $1 or $2 over like what it looks like standard is. But you have all this extra stuff in it, all the herbal stuff. You have all your time experimenting and finding which oils and which herbal blends work best. And honestly, I'd rather spend the extra $2, $3, $4 on something that I know works well, even if I have to deal with the herbal scent, which honestly I'm starting to get used to and really liking. There's times I'll use, like the other day I put on the lemon bourbon one, the lemon bourbon blaze, and then the next day or 2 days later I put on another company, and I was like, it's kind of missing something in the scent.
Yeah,
got to get used to it. Wait, yeah, you've came out with a lot since we've had you on. You've came out with a lot since I've ran into you in October or December, seems like. You got that Americana tonic, which is right up Paul's alley. I don't know if you've seen that one yet.
Yeah, I've been looking for it.
Lavender, eucalyptus, and spearmint.
It's so good, dude. It's so good.
Yeah, that one. So I smelled that one at the cigar thing, at the cigar festival. It smelled fantastic.
Great as a deodorant, too.
I picked up the Royal Creed at that cigar fest. It's fantastic. I was looking on your website. You got obviously the Dr. Bain. You got Cognac East, which is a great one.
Yeah. Have you read that? Have you read that?
Yeah.
The it reads like a diss track to Kanye West. It's funny. The product listing on the website. It's hilarious.
There you go, Paul.
Yeah.
It's that one I smelled was great. There were so many that I think at the cigar festival you were just putting out the charred blueberry and all the I think there's like 3 or 4 different blueberry scents or something like that.
Smoked, charred, and man, you put me on the spot, bro.
Smoked charred. I got your website up and I'm looking.
Blueberry booze.
Blueberry booze. Yep. Yeah, we and there's a guy in the community named Ryan Treadway, and he is a blueberry aholic, and he had one of my blueberries passed on to him, and he like everything I've had in blueberry that he's tried, it's in his top 5 now. And this guy's tried dozens and dozens and dozens of blueberries, and like they're all in his top 5. Again, it's like
Nice.
if I get a sickly scent and I add it to an oil, it's going to smell sickly. But if I get a really good blueberry or a really good cherry or a really good peach, and I add an essential oil of those with it, man, it balances out and it just smells so good. And then it becomes richer. It has more depth to it, and it just doesn't smell like medicine. Because often, like the cherries in and of themselves were tricky. Because how do we add cherry without it smelling like medicine? Well, it was finding the lost cherry dupe by one of the companies we found it through, and it just a really clean lost cherry duplication from Tom Ford, and it adds perfectly to the oil, and it doesn't add that sickly medicine cough drop smell that I cannot stand. I hate that smell.
Yeah, I remember it was in October because we were on our. So when me and the wife got married, we didn't do a honeymoon. We pushed it out for 1 year, and that was in October. And I got an email, I think it was an email or something that said you were doing like a sale on TikTok for certain oils or whatever.
Right.
So I picked up the Deep Woods cherry.
Deep Woods cherry, right?
So good. And I'm not I like cherry. I like cherries. I like cherry flavoring and stuff like that, but it's one of those, same thing with blueberries. I love the smell of them. I love the taste of them, but there's times that I don't want to be sitting there smelling them up in here.
Right.
But that Deep Woods cherry, and I think I got a sample of the smoked cherry was the other one.
Okay.
I think that's what the name was. Both those are fantastic. Yeah, the smoked cherry. I got a sample of that one. Fantastic. Like,
yeah, they smell more like a cologne, right? Yeah. I mean, and that's the trick of blending stuff, because if you throw the wrong scents in there, like you can totally screw it up. But that's the key to smelling stuff. We get little plastic cups, and we get a dropper, and we start layering. We figure out, okay, do we need 10 drops of this, 3 drops of that, or do we flip it? Right? What can we add to that adds more depth? Do we find an essential oil for blueberry that works really well, but maybe we find a blueberry cobbler, right? We find a really good blueberry cobbler, and we're like, how do we layer that? What do we do with that? Do we make a dessert, or do we go more like a Deep Wood style? And then it just depends on how much you add. It's the same thing as making colognes. I mean, when you make a cologne, you're just adding different fragrances to push out what the scent profile is. And you can make, there's so many things to discover in this business. Like, I'm talking to another guy that does, he goes down to the chemical level for his fragrances. He builds fragrances by the chemicals that are in them. And I'm super stoked about working with him on some stuff, because how do you build out a fragrance that you need to add fragrance elements of the chemicals that are in them? Like I can't even fathom that, but this guy knows how to do it. So I'm super excited about building some things out with him because I don't know where we can go with that, but we're gonna try collab and see where we can take it. I really want to do some ouds or some really good tobacco or cognac or bourbon absolutes. There's a lot of rich depth of flavor, depth of smell. And then see how we can layer that out with woods and maybe some florals, or, florals can be in a lot of really great masculine scents. It just depends on how you use it, right? Even some herbals like rosemary. Rosemary as an essential oil can totally change a scent profile for the better. And you would never even have to tell anybody that it's any different than what's in my mix, because I have herbs in my herbal mix too. So you'd be surprised at what you can blend and make. But ultimately, my passion is to try to build flavors, build fragrances that are not just you get it in your nose and you move on, but you go through your day, and the next day you might get a little whiff of it as you're getting up to take a shower, and you're like, what's in my, oh wow, that smells different than when I put it in, right? And then my ultimate goal is to be able to underscent my beard oil, and I sell a 5 ml of a parfum that matches that beard oil. And then I accomplish my mission of getting men to stop putting a whole bunch of fragrance on their face.
Right, there you go.
And then you can figure out how to make them not put so much of that cologne or parfum on, because there's people out there that put, like, they walk through the room and 20 minutes later still lingering.
Yeah. But I mean, picture this, guys. So I go about 50% under IFRA standards on a beard oil, right? I make a parfum. I'm not making that parfum with that much more scent. I'm not really losing money. Maybe I charge another $5 to add that little 5 ml bottle of parfum. They put their beard oil on. They put their parfum on their neck or on their hands. They're getting the same effect. They're getting a good oil that gets on their face that still smells like what they want it to smell like. But now they've got that parfum, which moves all that fragrance away from their face. So they still project like they want to, but they're not destroying their nose.
No.
And maybe they can smell the fact that they, maybe they're missing out on their favorite foods because they can't taste it because their sense of smell is all screwed up. I mean, that's the reality. So, is it going to make me a lot of money? Probably not. Would I rather have customers that, their lives are intact because they can smell stuff? Yeah, I'd rather have that.
So
because then they can come back, right? They buy more stuff then, and then but they're healthy. Their face is healthy. Their family's healthy. Their pets are healthy. They can work with coworkers that aren't complaining about how they smell all the time.
So Baker posted in the YouTube chat saying the deodorant is the best. They need to put in an order to restock.
Yeah.
Which I'll mimic exactly what you said. I picked up a 3-pack on my last order, and I've been using that, and it's fantastic. The lemon or lemongrass scent is definitely potent. But it's fantastic deodorant.
Let's see. What did you buy last, Jerry? Let's see.
Bunch of deodorant. The tobacco and vanilla oud oil. I don't even know. I put in a few different orders, I think.
You have the normal spelling of Jerry, because
yeah, it might be Gerald.
Oh, I think that's what it is.
Jerrold.
Yeah, let's go see what you bought. I want to see. I don't even remember.
That's terrible. To be honest with you, I don't even know what I ordered last. I know I got this Royal Creed. I got that tobacco vanilla oud. I got the deep woods, rustic woods. the lemon bourbon blaze. I got the hand cream, bunch of deodorants.
What is your last name?
ULLMAN.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Weird. You've got a couple of different names in here.
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah, Thieves and Lemongrass. Yeah, the Botanical Breeze.
I like that. Botanical Breeze is nice.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Oud and Amber tobacco is probably the one that I was most proud of because I had all these brand new like Spanish and French colognes that I got from a guy who makes cologne. He buys his stuff from Europe. And I bought a couple, like 12 different 500 ml bottles of really good colognes. And I'm like, I don't want to use all this in one bottle. I want to make something unique. And mixed a couple of them together, added a couple fragrances and essential oils that I had, and Oud and Amber tobacco came out of it. And it's especially good as a cologne. Oh my gosh. It smells so good. Same with Royal Creed. It smells great as a cologne.
Yeah, Adam, that Oud and Amber tobacco one is definitely one you would like.
I'm sure I would. I was thinking the same thing when he was talking about it.
Amber, Creed Royal Oud, Tobacco Oud Wood, Cuban Tobacco Bay Leaf, and
Dior Sauvage Elixir. Yeah, Dior Sauvage Elixir is probably one of the nicest colognes I've ever smelled. It's got a very spicy, kind of robust back-ended kick to it. It is, to get a good one, you're spending a couple $100. It's a good cologne.
Yeah, it has that like nice like vanilla woody scent, but you get like the spice of so like smoking a cigar, you get the spice in the back of the throat or whatever. It's like the smell of that. It's kind of hard to explain, but like just as nice like spicy cigar note.
Yeah. Yeah, Dior Sauvage has the top notes of cinnamon, nutmeg, and grapefruit with middle notes of patchouli, which I don't ever smell the patchouli, but it has it. Lavender and cardamom with the base notes of licorice, sandalwood, and amber. But that's the spiciness of the cinnamon and the nutmeg are definitely prevalent, but you don't picture it as cinnamon and nutmeg because of how it's blended, right? It's an absolute banger of a cologne. I absolutely love it. But when I started making this stuff, I'm like, well, I've got these like super premium European oils. How can I use them? Because I've never really messed with colognes before, but now I've got a whole new like set of data that I can latch onto to try to make new things. So I'm really excited about the prospect of making colognes, and any fragrance I make now, I can make as a cologne.
There you go. So now you got two products in one, more or less.
Yeah, Man Cave is a cologne, Deepwood's Cherry is a cologne. It doesn't matter. I can make it as a cologne. And it's super easy.
So looking at the deodorants, there's a new one, Smoldering Lavender. How's that one?
It was a mistake. I was making lavender and a set of lavender deodorants, and I put in the wrong fragrance. I put in a bunch of like charcoal. I buy this really good, really clean, really good charcoal fragrance from one of the awesome companies that really cares about the health of a fragrance, not just it smells good. And I dumped like half a bottle of this stuff in with the lavender, thinking it was lavender. So I'm like, well, I got to do something with this. So I cut it because it was still too potent. And what you get is it smells like you smoked a whole bunch of lavender with the deodorant. It's good. So it's surprisingly good. I'm like, well, I'm not going to get rid of it. Let me cut it and dilute it so it smells less like charcoal and more like lavender. And I've sold quite a few sticks, and people are happy with it. It's one of those happy mistakes,
That'll be in the cart next time I do an order. I like a lavender scent. That one just sounds a little different. Because I think the last time I ordered just a regular lavender one was out of stock.
Oh, dude, just message me, man. Anything that you need, just let me know.
So, and then the botanical ocean breeze, the little pink to faded to green, faded to blue, or whatever label caught my eye, and I was like, you know what, I'll try that one. And I'm glad I did because I like it a lot.
We just added updated our labels, so they've got it's a semi-gloss. It's more of a plastic-based label because the ones I've been using are paper-based, even though they have like a plastic back. These updated labels have more of that full weatherproof plastic label. So I hate using plastic, but whatever. But they don't feel like paper anymore. There's actually like they're smooth now. They don't look like they did before, which I'm very grateful for. Again, you're doing everything on our own.
Right.
Yeah, the one thing so I've tried a bunch of different companies' oils, deodorants, but being all natural, a lot of them are like almost like a solid stick, and you gotta like heat them up to kind of, or warm them up to kind of get anything on. Otherwise, it's like ripping all the hairs out of your armpit.
Right.
Which is one of the reasons I kind of kept going back to yours, because yours it's a solid stick, obviously, but it's more of like a soft, almost like butter consistency.
Yeah.
And you don't got to warm it up, which is nice. Like there's times I wake up for work 20, 30 minutes late, and I don't have the 10 seconds to sit there and try to warm up that deodorant before I rip out all the hairs.
Right.
So that was always nice. And it's obviously it's a good deodorant, and scents last pretty well.
Right.
Which honestly for deodorant doesn't matter as long as it doesn't make you sweat or stink like shit.
Yeah.
I'm happy with it. But I noticed that you also put a non-sodium bicarbonate blend out there.
Yeah.
Was that just something you wanted to do, or is that from like someone wanting you to do it?
I mean, there's a lot of people with baking soda sensitivity, so I figured if we want to try to get more people to switch over to a natural deodorant, we might as well make that switch. And not everybody's got that sensitivity, but there's quite a few people that do. So those have been successful for people that have used them, and quite a few people that I know, face to face that have used them and like them without the baking soda. So it was just a natural progression of doing things. It's easier to make them. You're pulling out one extra ingredient and you're adding more of another. And but I can make 10,000 sticks of total right now with all the ingredients I have. So
jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I've found out over my 30 something years is anything that uses aluminum really fucks my underarms up. So obviously in like high school, middle school, going through gym class, everyone has Old Spice or whatever, which I've used their non-aluminum blend, whatever they call it, and it's worked fine. It's just them or was that Right Guard or any like the big name brands that have it in there. It works fine until about a week or so later. Next thing you know, like my armpits are puffy and red and I can't put anything on. Now I got to buy some spray deodorant so it doesn't burn, and it's a whole like month-long process to get it back to. So I just that's when I started looking into all natural and whatnot, and I'd rather spend an extra few bucks, not have to deal with that every couple months than.
Yeah, and aluminum bioaccumulates in your lymph nodes anyway. And same with parabens, which are basically microplastics.
Yeah.
And you just, you don't want that stuff accumulating in your armpits. Men can get breast cancer too.
Yeah.
So, and you guys know that story. My wife had a lump removed when she was 19. So it's a big deal that we don't have that stuff for her to use either. We try to practice what we preach with that stuff. We don't use that. So why make it that way? Right. I mean, yeah, it could save us some money, but we could make a ton of money making antiperspirant, but your body's supposed to perspire.
I was just say, you and me living in Florida, there's no way getting around not sweating.
Yeah.
During the summer.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you use, you're gonna sweat.
Yep. 100%. Wigwag workshop. Cool. Yeah, again, it would just we want stuff that's not going to make people sick. We try to have a no compromise mentality when it comes to what we make. And overall, like, I'm happy with what we make. We can obviously improve, And there's been a couple times that I've almost burned my company down because I got too loud about some things I don't like.
Well, that's what the Discord page is for.
And those guys in that, and those guys in the Bearded Texan group, you've seen them. I don't know if you saw the specific inference I'm referring to, but I got really pissed about something that I saw, and I let everybody know about it. And quite a few guys basically said, "You got to chill out, dude. You're building something really good. You don't want to destroy it." And I'm like, you know what? I almost want to destroy it with how I feel about this stuff. And then my wife said, "That's really stupid." I said, "You know what? You're right. It's pretty stupid." So that's where the copyright collab came from, because me and Dan hate that shit. And we're like, well, what can we say without making it too obvious? But I'll be honest with you, like, my biggest issue is that there's some really good guys in this community that have been really insulted and humiliated publicly because of owners that really don't give a rat's behind about their customers. And whether you've bought no bottles from me or whether you bought 100, I'm going to treat you the same way. And I really don't like how some owners treat their customers. So that's kind of what, like I said, I almost burned my company to the ground over that. And
hey, you gotta stand up for what you believe in.
Yeah, you gotta stand up for what you believe in, because I could sit here and make $1,000 a day on products, but am I going to be happy with what I made if I have to go the route that some other companies have gone? And the answer is no. I would never be happy with that. I don't have to be the guy that does those things, because customers are finding out on their own how they're being treated. So do I need to go and voice it all the time? No, I don't. I could just try to be better. So, but like I said, it doesn't matter if someone's bought something from me or hasn't. I'm just try to be as consistent as possible every time. So,
yeah, looking at that,
I'm still going to be here, but I'm putting my camera on, disabling it for a minute.
So I've seen the s'mores code, which is the one that you quote unquote stole from Bearded Death, aka Bearded Life, or whatever you want to call it on your bottle. That profile: bourbon, vanilla, and marshmallow, chocolate and fudge, cinnamon, charcoal, and cedarwood. Sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it's to believe it or not, the only thing that I stole from him was the logo. And he had a scent called Norse Code, and the label idea came from the Bearded Villains from Michigan. So I had to get permission from them to utilize the logo. So that's where that part of the copyright came from. Now the scent in and of itself is a mixture of my my drunken s'mores, but we added some other elements to it to make it something truly unique. The funny part of that is that, again, it was just the label and the name, really. But the thing that Dan got from me was Man Cave.
Mm-hmm.
And it's his favorite scent. So I said, Dan, why don't you just take Man Cave? I'll tell you how I make it, and you make it somewhat unique to Bearded Death, and run with it. And he sure as heck did. I gotta find out how many he sold, but he sold way more of his caveman than I have a Man Cave. And he gave my character like googly eyes and like a clown nose, and it was funny. I got to admit, my wife wasn't all that pleased that I gave away Man Cave, but she loves Dan, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Dan. I was ready to throw in the towel with some of the problems I was having, and he helped fix them for me, or help me get in the right direction. So, hi, dear, come say hi. Why not? Jerry's the guy that came and visited us at Ybor for the cigar fest.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Yeah. The day of the rain.
Yes.
Yeah.
The nonstop rain.
And I don't remember your name. I'm sorry.
Paul.
Paul.
Guys,
you need to have like labels on your videos, like about who's who.
I wish they let you put it on. Maybe it's a setting that I turned off. I don't know. I got to look back and see.
name tags. My name is.
Yeah, my name is. Like a permanent overlay, right, Paul?
Yep, exactly. Yeah. I just wear a sticker right here.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then you have to reverse the image to make sure that people can actually read it.
Yeah, I have to pull this out of the way.
Right on. Yeah. So, but that collab was fun, and there's a couple other companies we might do something similar. Because believe it or not, there's a lot of companies that don't like some of the behavior that happens from some of the bigger names, and a lot of us are just trying to do the right thing and educate people and try to make better products than the industry is used to. But ironically enough, like as soon as I switched to meadow foam, a couple of guys brought this to my attention, but as soon as I switched to meadow foam, 3 or 4 other companies made the switch to meadow foam. And now there's 2 other companies out there that I guess both of the owners tried my herbal infused blend, and they are now they're herbally infusing their oils too. So I've had numerous owners reach out to me and say, "Hey, you tried something that is really cool. We're gonna try to get better." And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see it, because there's got to be a better process out there than just, or a better thought process than just ooga smell good, ooga face oily, right? So
the same thing in the podcast world is there's a group of us that we share a bunch of things, and I'm on their podcast or we're on their podcast or we're trying to get them on ours, and then you have the ones that are the odd man out that just kind of does their own thing, thinks they're better than everyone else, and it's just like, yeah, you go fuck yourself. Like, we're not, like, we don't care if we have 1 follower or fucking 1 million followers. Like, we have the close few that follow us almost religiously and watch us all the time. We got guys like you, Matt over at Bay Area Beard Co. He was one of our multiple guests. Then you have cigar companies that are commenting and always interacting with us and hanging out with us, and that's all we really care about. Like, we have a close few people. Well, I say few, but it's a decent good amount of people, whether it's our personal ones or the ones to the podcast. But honestly, the 3 of us, I don't think really care if we have 1 or 10 million followers. We just want like good people following us, hanging out with us, interacting with us, doing the right thing. And same thing with podcasting is one of my buddies that I've known, well, I say I've known. I've never actually met him. I met him on Instagram back, 2019, 2020, somewhere around there when I first started my Instagram page. He's up in Georgia, and we've interacted a lot and did all that stuff. And I was on his podcast last week before, should be coming out in a couple weeks. He listened to, I think it was the first episode we did with you, and he messaged me saying, what scent profile should I go for? And I was like, well, I've been digging the Rustic Woods. It's like an appley fall scent. He sends me a message. I just bought that and something else, and I was talking to him. He's like, I got to put another order in and got to buy more stuff. So, but like the podcast world, it's people have questions, they'll just reach out, and I got no issue telling them what we do or whatever. If they want your contact or anyone else's contact, which is 99% of the time for me, it's Instagram. Just
right.
But and then one or two of the guys that I brought over to you during the cigar festival, the one that was from Jacksonville here, I was talking to him and he was like, yeah, I forgot which scent he actually picked up because I got to pick up more. He goes, that was some good shit. I was like, yeah, there's a reason why I told you to go over there.
Yeah.
So,
well, we're trying to get better, man. We want to get into being able to do like a triple tobacco or, you know, like a triple bourbon or, you know, start to layer stuff, you know, bourbon accord with a bourbon fragrance that's really good with some layered bourbon cedar or something like that. You know, we're trying to make stuff more depth, more, you know, something that people can grab onto and they can be like, man, I got to have that in permanent rotation. You know, that's what we really want.
So I've been just the whole time just going over your website just to see anything. So you got like 3+ pages of oil scents. How hard is it to keep track of all, or do you have a pretty well balanced like system going? Because a lot of companies only put out a handful, and there's a few that put out maybe 10, but you got like 3 pages of what, 20?
Yeah. I mean, there's a company called Warlock Beard Co. that's got hundreds. If that, you know, helps you have some idea, but it's actually pretty easy. I mean, we build a profile we like, we stick it in a 4-ounce jar, and if we it's the pure scent. And then if we make a bottle, we pull out 3 to 3.5 milligrams or milliliters of scent, add it to 26 milliliters of oil, and we send it, depending on what it is. There's obviously safe levels. It depends on what it is. But
yeah. You guys were doing that at the cigar festival.
Yeah.
Now I remember. They had all those jars out.
Yep. And you know, we build something we like. We math it out. If we make enough, we have 6 or 7 ingredients in one. It comes out to a mill. We know how many drops. We math it out to where it equals 3 or 4 ounces, and then that's what we do. And some are easier than others. Like Bold Cherry is an effing fabulous dupe with a Tom Ford Lost Cherry dupe. That's all it is. I mean, it's as simple as that. We find 2 things we like, we merge them together and make something unique. And then, you know, same thing with Deep Woods Cherry and Smoked Cherry. We found a Cuban tobacco we really like. We added that to Tom Ford Lost Cherry. We have smoked tobacco or smoked cherry. It's very simple. Like it you know, we're not ever claiming we're doing these on our own, or, you know, we're not chemists, you know. But there's quite a few things that we've built adding one element at a time. Keltoberfest. The only thing on there that I didn't have that I couldn't directly do was the thing that smelled like Guinness. The 5 or 6 other things that went in it were things that I thought would make it pop. Hops essential oils, a beer oil we found, the Guinness that we found, and then just some other little elements to it that made it a really cool, unique. Gets in your beard and it smells like Guinness. You know what it's like? But what was funny is that the Guinness by itself did not smell like Guinness. It was adding the beer and the hops to it that made it smell like Guinness. It was wild. But, you know, that's what we like to do. We like to experiment. My wife's got a fantastic nose. So, you know, we try to come up with something fun. But Preston, Boston Bearded in there has come up with just some amazing stuff in the chat.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Paul, if we do a St. Patty's Day episode, like themed episode, I think we know the oil.
Yeah, I got a cart going right now. I might just throw that in for that episode. I just ordered some of those cigars you recommended from what was the place called?
The Smoky Bear.
Yeah,
Smoky Bear.
I
got that website up.
I just placed my order for them. So,
what did you grab? The Maduros?
I'd grab 3 of those and 3 of the what they call the 1984 Churchills. So I'll send you guys those, and we can talk about them on an upcoming episode as well.
Listen, if you had the ability to talk to them, they have grown sons that were in the Marine Corps. Irema's from Cuba, the wife. Let me tell you about these 2 people. We were up vacationing in Blue Ridge, found a cigar place because I wanted a cigar. Walked in there, started talking to him, down to earth, knowledgeable. They had people in there that were going to be, you know, releasing cigars exclusive to them. And walked in there, met them, came back the next day with my wife. She met them. They invited us out to dinner. And there's this restaurant in Blue Ridge. Chad, what's the name of that place? Oh, Ferraro's. It's an Italian place. The owner is a Michelin star chef down from Miami. So Irema and George took us to this place, and we're like, you know, thinking we're going to get some appetizers and dinner. They treated us. And when I tell you that this was the best Italian meal that I've ever had, I would not be giving you the right amount of words to describe how good it was. They bought the entire meal for us, and we didn't ask for that. They just treated this couple that they had just met, treated us like family, took us to this wonderful meal, spent hundreds of dollars on us alone. We're like, how in the world did this even happen? See you, Preston. Nice talking to you, man. Nice seeing you in here. This is the kind of people that they are. And we've tried to spend money with them decent enough to repay them over time, but they've really done. They're really just great people, man, and they are part of a stellar business community in Blue Ridge. And I cannot say enough nice things about them and the other businesses in Blue Ridge. And you know, it's become a place that if we had the ability to move out of here where we're at in Florida, we would move to Blue Ridge. That's how much it's impacted us, the people there, you know, and just the wonderful nature that some of these people have. But listen, you can't, if you ever get a chance to drive through there, stop by, have a smoke, talk to them. They're awesome people. And they won an award for the best place to smoke a cigar in the Southeast.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Jerry's muted.
I was typing, and my mic is on the desk, and then when I type, you hear it through the mic. The wife's parents just they're in the process of buying a house over in like near Memphis, outside of Memphis. So we might be heading out that way sometime this year, which would take me right up 75 and then a little detour out towards, I don't know how much of a detour that is.
Memphis is not all that far away from Blue Ridge. It's like a 4-hour, maybe.
Yeah, I was looking at that, and literally right across the border is Chattanooga, which is a place I love to. Hell, I'm drinking some Chattanooga whiskey now, so it's a place I love to stop by. It's a cool little town, so might have to whenever we do that, swing over there, talk with them, hang out there for a little bit, swing up to Chattanooga, spend the night, and then head over. I think they're over in like Henderson or Jackson, not like outside of Memphis, somewhere out that way. But yeah, that was something I've thought about because we're coming up on our third season, if you want to call it. And one of the things that thinking about is like trying to get some of these cigar lounge owners on, just kind of see their perspective, especially the ones that have their own in-house blend or cigars, whatever you want to call it. So that would be a cool one to reach out to them, see if they have time to jump on.
Yeah, especially since they're just good people, man. I mean, you want to platform good people because good people need to be platformed. You know, they and I don't know how much more of a platform they really need after they won the best lounge in the Southeast, but you know, they the fact that the wife's from Cuba in and of itself is just incredible, you know. Just being able to tell that story, the fact that both of their sons went in the Marine Corps, and you know, they've raised good kids. Like, what better people to platform, you know, and very generous, as you know. But I'm not the only story. They've been very generous to a lot of people. And the fact that their lounge is meant to go and to have conversations. It's meant to, the three of us would sit down and we wouldn't be distracted by a TV. We'd be smoking, we'd be talking, we'd be sharing ideas. We wouldn't just have the TV distracting us. You know?
Yeah, I was looking at the pictures on the Google Maps site or whatever. It's literally a like cabin.
Yeah.
That they turn into a smoke shop. It's
really cool looking.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Like it's literally just one of those cabins that you think of the Blue Ridge Mountains, the northern Tennessee or the northern Georgia, Tennessee area right along the mountain range, and that's exactly what it is. That's a smoke lounge, which is awesome. Like if I lived in that area, I'd probably be there at least once a week, at least.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. We're going to be going to Gatlinburg in June for a beard competition, but I'm going to be a vendor at the tattoo convention for 3 days. So we're hoping to be able to swing through there quite a bit. That's our hope. And see them.
Yeah, I'll have to, whenever we make our way, because it's like a 45-minute little detour, which isn't terrible at all, especially if we make it a 2-day thing anyways. Yeah, I got that bookmark now on my my Google Maps, which has way too many bookmarks outside the state of Florida that I hit not enough times. But yeah, if you had to pick one of your scent profiles to be the only scent profile, which one would it be?
Oh man,
just a fun little one.
It's a good question. I would probably go with the one that has the most utility. Best for your skin, best for your beard, has the aromatherapy going on. I would probably say Americana Tonic. You know, because overall it would be the healthiest option.
No.
So, yeah, Americana Tonic would probably be it.
And that being said, what's the one that you go to the most out of your collection?
Oh, that's a tough one too, because I'm constantly having to rotate stuff. Because, you know, for me, it's like I've got to test everything as much as I can. I like the cherries a lot. The smoked cherry.
You do a well cherry scented.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not a big cherry scented. Like I love the smell of cherry. It just, for some reason, you put it in oils, it typically doesn't work for me. But
like you said, you got to get that cherry. It's not that cough drop cherry.
Yeah.
It's the cherry that you get. Makes a huge difference.
You got to get that Luden's cherry.
Trust me, I'm a Luden's fan. Trust me, we've done some shit where we put some Ludens in bottles of whiskey and let them dissolve and add that black cherry flavor to some whiskey before, and it's fantastic. But yeah, you want a natural smelling cherry when you're gonna when it's gonna be a couple inches from your nose.
Yeah,
for the rest
or a
of it,
cologne, right? Yeah, or a cologne. Yeah.
Right.
And Tom Ford Lost Cherry for me is a fantastic cologne. And one of the better fragrance companies that's out there that's actually based in Florida, has very high standards, makes a killer Tom Ford dupe. So that's what we use. You know, I wish I was good enough to make it on my own, right? To like be able to blend it on my own and figure it all out. But I don't. I would need so much more experience blending and a chemistry degree. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
that's the next thing for you.
Sure.
Make your own sense.
Maybe my kids one day will do it. You know. But then there's a guy that hopefully is going to be opening a barber shop. We're going to work on some shaving stuff. You know, for you guys that shave your heads, like this oil is good for that too. You know, being able to treat your head instead of using aftershave.
I just shaved this morning, and I don't shave with a razor because I get really bad irritation if I do. Yeah. I just go clippers with nothing, and we had a big cheer competition this morning, so I, shaved nice, look presentable. And,
had to look pretty in your outfit.
Yeah, exactly. Match my skirt. No, I use your what do you call it? Your the soothing skin salve. I rub that shit all over my head every time I shave.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I just lather like my whole entire head, and it's like, it's not greasy, but it's like shiny for a couple minutes, but it absorbs in great. And because I tend to get like on this side of my head, I get really bad. I don't know if it's some kind of eczema, psoriasis, or something, but every time I shave, I get like this really red patch for a day or two just from the irritation of the clippers. And your skin salve, it's another jugs in my cart right now because I'll rub it all over my head. My wife's been using it on her hands in the wintertime. She gets cracked knuckles and cuticles and things like that. And that stuff's great. I definitely love that product big time. And I've never come across I love your conditioner. I'm buying another bottle of that right now.
That shampoo conditioner is fantastic.
Yeah, but everybody has conditioner, oils, all that stuff. Like with this salve, it's such a great product that you have, and I don't see anybody else have that either. So it's that's my favorite product that you have, just because nobody else has something like that. To my knowledge, they have beard butters and things like that, but yours, that product alone is awesome.
Yeah, it's one that I tell people, like, if they want to use some, because I'll pull the jar out and I'll use it. If they want to use it, I tell them it's not going to be like the typical, like the creams and stuff that you use for your cracked hands. Like, it's going to be oily per se for a little bit, but it's going to eventually absorb in, and it works. So like, I only when I'm at work, because I work at for at least half the year in an ice rink environment that is, I'd say 60 degrees, give or take, and as low as humidity as we can get it. I'll put it on maybe once, twice at most during these hockey games, and it's fine. Like when I was using what's that fucking, the cortisone cream, like for eczema, I was putting that thing on them. It felt like every other hour, because it would work, and as soon as it absorbed in, my hands would start cracking and the eczema would come back, and I'd put more on. This stuff, as soon as I start feeling my hands get dry from working in this dry environment, and throw some on, rub it in, let it do its thing, and I might throw some on either on my way home or when I get home before bed, but most of the time it's once, and it just works. Let people use it. I let my mom use it. She loved it. The best part is I'm so used to the scent now, but I'll pull it out at work, put some on my hands, and my coworker will walk in. He goes, You cooking spaghetti in there? Because it has that like pasta sauce like that.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
I was like, I don't even notice it. Like at first, it was like big. Like I thought I was cooking pasta sauce in the back, but you get, like you said earlier, you get used to it, and like now it's just one of those things. Like I'll even put my nose inside the jar, and I don't smell it, but everyone else does.
Well, it's like, what are you used to? Are you used to this chemical cortisone crap, or are you used to something that's
I was for a while.
That's,
that's the sad part. Is my hands, my body got so used to this cortisone cream that it wasn't working anymore.
Yeah, and then steroids are worse because steroids can turn on you. You know, they could be fine for years, and all of a sudden it can be a disaster for your immune system. You can, I've seen women get like hyper hair growth, like in places where you don't even grow hair, and all of a sudden they're growing hair like monkeys on their hands.
Yeah.
Women, and it's because the steroids turn on you. I mean, you can cause your immune system to collapse. And people are freely putting this stuff on their hands all the time. It's not good for you.
No, I've definitely converted to a more all natural routine over the last how long we've been doing this? 3 years now, close to it.
Yeah.
Just talking to people like you or doing my own research, you kind of find out like this shit only works because of this random shit that they made up in a lab that's supposed to work. And when it doesn't work anymore, then you're kind of shit out of luck.
Right.
For deal. So it's just like, let me find these all natural products, because most of them are coming out of some kind of plant, and it's just like, it might take a minute to work.
It's like the whole argument with marijuana. They're trying to synthesize marijuana to make it a medicine when they could just use the plant. Because guess what you can't do? You can't patent a plant. So herbalists make stuff for a reason. And most of the medicine that we use today are based off of things that are found in nature. Right? You can use the things found in nature as medicine. So why wouldn't you just use the stuff that you find in nature for medicine? But yet you're the crazy. I mean, I have a story. So I had a customer. His name is Jimmy. He's really active in the beard forums. He's got real bad seborrheic dermatitis on his head, and he's using the salve. And now the salve's not perfect for seborrheic dermatitis. It's not. It doesn't help it completely, right? But it helps it enough. And he took it to the doctor, and the doctor gave him a couple of prescriptions for it because he's got a really bad case of it. But he showed the doctor my salve, and the doctor said, "You know what? This is more for eczema, but this is a really well thought out and constructed product." And he was shocked because he did not think that dermatologist was going to say that. Mm-hmm. And that blew me away because I'm like, dang, I guess I'm doing something right with that. But I didn't invent the wheel. This was already there. It's just a matter of figuring out, what works together, which herb helps the next herb work better. What do you need to help calm the skin down while also giving it some the medicine that helps get into the skin and help resolve the problem? Do I leave wax in or put wax or add more wax or remove it altogether? Why do you add wax? Well, the people that are vegans don't want wax. Well, guess what wax does? Wax is actually really great for your skin.
Yeah.
And it helps lock in that stuff that you're putting on your skin, and your body will absorb it, but it also helps keep it there. So there's a reason why these things were done the way they were done. And I just talked to people that knew how to do it and researched how this stuff could all work together. So,
and that's one big thing about you that sets you apart from other companies. I'm not saying that other companies don't do it, but you seem to be evolving your company as it goes along, changing something, like whether it's oil to the metal foam seed or taking this thing out, putting this in. Like, not saying that other companies don't, but it seems like you make it known and are actually doing something about it when these other companies might just be like, it's not bad. It's just we've always had this blend, and I don't really want to change it, sort of deal.
Right, and we're not taking stuff that's mass market produced and the oils and buying 5 or 6 oils wholesale that are already pre-mixed and selling it like that. Truthfully, there's nothing wrong with that because there's oil is oil at the end of the day. But we try to buy the best oils we can. We switch to organic. We're trying to buy the best oils that we can to make the blend perfect. I only add in a 5-gallon mix, 1/20th is black seed oil, 1/20th is aloe vera, 1/20th is vitamin E, but then meadow foam is 1/5. However, the math is someplace else. It's not here, but the math is what it is, right? So, I'm adding 4 cups of hemp seed oil and 1 gallon of meadow foam and 1 cup of black seed oil, 1 cup of aloe, and it's just enough, and they all work symbiotically so well together that it makes a great mix.
Yeah, me and Paul were talking. I don't know if this was on an episode or after an episode or before an episode. I don't know. I just remember me and Paul were talking about this fairly recently. So I have 1, 2, 3. I probably have like 6 companies that are on the shelf consistently.
Right.
Of those 6, I think, well, now that you put metal foam in, I think 4 of them, maybe 5. I know one doesn't. The other company, I can't remember. But of those 6, 4 to 5 have metal foam in it. I don't know if it's just one of those things that I've noticed, or if it's an actual oil that's been working really well. But I've noticed that the companies that have metal foam in it work really well with this. And like I said, I don't know if it's anything, if it's just a coincidence, but for 5 of the 6 oils that I use almost weekly, they all have that metal foam in it, and I could feel the difference. Like, it just has like this nice, like, slick feeling, like nice softness to it. It just brings a different level to these oils. And like you said, I'm not a scientist either. I don't know anything. I just read what you and these other companies write about these oils and what I do my research on. So you guys could all be blowing smoke up my ass and just be putting some random shit, but there's something about that oil.
Yeah.
At least for me. I'm sure there's someone else out there saying the complete opposite, saying every oil that has metal foam in it fucking gives them dermatitis in their skin or whatever. But
yeah, it's just the scale is hemisqualane, which is super small fat, very light, has almost like a light silicone thing on the beard. It's not, you wouldn't want to just have that, nor would you want to have a bird, ostrich, or emu, because it's very heavy fat.
Yeah.
They're polar opposites. What you do is you want to have like a hemisqualane, which I don't have hemisqualane. I have olive oil squalane, which is a very small fat, but not as small as hemisqualane. But my mix is light to light medium. I actually have heavy oils in there, but because a lot of my oils are light, it brings the overall consistency to that light medium. So light medium oils are better for your skin, whereas the lighter oils, the really light oils, are really good to get into your hair and to coat your hair. They're still beneficial to the skin, but they're just not as beneficial as some of those other oils are. So that balance, when you find that balance and you get the right mix, you are able to make a really good, consistent product that you're able to benefit the most people. And then you got a lot of customers that really want that heavy castor if they have a really gray or white beard. And then it's like, well, add more castor. It's a heavier oil. It's really good for a lighter beard that has no coloration to it. And that heavier oil latches on to that beard hair that has no pigments in it. It's weird. But the science works. It just does. And there's going to be variances in between. There's going to be customers that their skin doesn't work well with something, so they have to kind of pick and choose.
Yeah.
But for the most part, a lot of the companies have figured out like 99% of my potential customers can use my oil. But then you got to figure out how exotic you want to go. And there's some exotic lightweight oil, broccoli seed oil.
Yeah.
Sunflower oil is a great oil for your beard.
Mm-hmm. There was one. We haven't had it on here yet, I don't think. But I know I have it in the bathroom. And I was just looking at oil, like, just the other day, just kind of looking at different things. And one of them had that oil in it. I can't remember which brand it is or whatever. But I do remember I like that oil a lot.
Wow.
I'd have to go back and look.
I don't get any single malt notes on the palate at all.
Did you two playing again? Adam's back. But that being said about different, because I think we talked about it when I was down in Ybor about the bird oils. I know Paul and Adam, I think generally like them. Me, it's hit or miss, and I was talking to you about it. I was like, some of them are good, some aren't. And I remember you saying something about depending, like, you were like, what time of year or something like that. And I was like, well, the last one was like 2 months ago or whatever, and you're like, yeah, it's probably gonna suck because it's in the middle of the summer and it's heavy. I go, oh no shit, that's exactly what I was thinking. Because I remember we had one, it was in like June or July, and I was like, it's working, it just doesn't feel right. But then we had one in like, say, January, February, and it seemed to be working well. Right. And then you're like, yeah, because it's heavy and sometimes it won't absorb in. And I was like, well, that kind of makes sense now. Because I remember the one that I tried in the summer, I liked the oil, like everything about it, except that it just felt heavy and it wasn't absorbing right.
Right.
But I'd imagine if I use that same oil, it's probably still in the drawer in a cooler climate where it's not going to be so damn hot outside. Maybe it'll work some more, but that's something else that we were talking about, and it's something you don't think about when you're using oils. That different times of years changes how it works in your beard.
And the heavier oils typically are as good for your skin as the lighter to medium weight oils are, So, but and bird oils go bad faster. So, but the issue for us with the bird oils is, I could have added tallow, I could have added that, or I could have added a bird oil, but long and short of it, I'm going to limit who might want to buy it then.
What about shark oil? On to the next topic.
Don't even get me started on that one.
Yeah, what are we coming up on 2 hours? Is there anything else you want to throw out there? Anything new coming out within the next 5 months so we can have you on again, basically?
We got to still do that conspiracy one. That'd be fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All four of us have to jump on that one.
Yeah.
We'll have to figure something out.
You got to get Mr. Trump on there too, No, I mean, I think we're going to continue to. We're not trying to push boundaries. We're just trying to be consistent, and the fragrances from around the world are going to hopefully be all essential oil. We have the DNC thing coming up. even though I pissed him off recently about something. But there's another company I have a lot of respect for. There's a lot of people that don't like AI, and he takes pictures of his bottles, but he does a lot of AI generation around it because he tells a story. And Dan had a guy on his show that was just trashing the AI usage and specifically named Warlock Beard Co., which has been on DNC for a review, got a good review. But Warlock had come on Facebook and had talked about it, and it irritated me that this good dude, that he's the marketing guy and he's the guy shipping everything and he's the guy inventing everything and he's the storyteller and he's doing everything himself, can't use AI, which is a tool for his business, that he can't afford 5 people to do all the stuff that this one tool can do for him, right? So it wasn't Dan C that was giving him a hard time. It was the guy that was on with Dan C, but he didn't necessarily say that. So I made a comment on what happened and left it there. And James, the owner, clarified what happened the next day. And I'm like, well, I should probably delete my comment, but I'm not. I made it. I left it. So then Dan reacted to it. And I basically had said that, I think Dan C's opinions on some things are overrated. So as soon as I saw I reacted to it, I messaged Dan and I told him why I said that, why I didn't delete it. And this is after I'd already paid Dan the money for the review. So, but I basically told him, I said, I don't think it's fair that this was allowed to happen. I said, I know it wasn't you now, but it's your platform. To me, it's perfectly fine to use AI. I take pictures of my bottles and post it with graphics around it, and that's what James does from Warlock. But yeah, I irritated him a little bit, but I apologize. I own my comment. I'm not going to sit there and delete it like a chicken and try to run from it. I said what I said, but I also clarified for him what I said and why I said it. But I did apologize. So, we'll see what happens April 17th, right?
I understand the whole AI thing, but for small time people like you, like us, these smaller companies, it's the way to go. Like, I understand these, like,
Fable.
I saw an ad for, what was it? It was like like an insurance company on Facebook or Instagram or something like that, and
Right.
They were using AI. I'm like, you guys make millions a year and you're using AI. Like, pay an artist to do it. Obviously, we don't have this whole show, except for the occasional free samples here and there, are coming out of our pockets, and we 100% understand that that's what's going to happen, and we are 100% fine with it.
Yeah.
And then you got people like you who, at this point, you probably could pay a graphic designer, but then you're cutting into your profits, and then you're just going to fold. You're not going to be able to make enough to keep you run. So AI for some people, I 100% we use it all the time, but I hate seeing like these bigger companies using it. It's just like, I get it at the same time, but you guys make enough to help some little because a lot of these, you could find some small graphic designers that are like us, like they're the small time people that aren't charging anywhere close to these companies, and some of these multi-million-dollar companies or billion-dollar companies, hey, reach out, pay $1,000 to have this person make your graphic or your commercial. But instead, they're just paying the $20 for Chat GPT or $20 for whatever AI, and they're using it. And I'm like, fuck you. Like, well, I hate big companies using it, and I love seeing the smaller companies using it.
Well, what about Bungie, the video game company, is making the brand new game, Marathon, and they ripped off a small graphic design artist. They ripped off all this guy's stuff and used it in their game.
Yeah,
Like,
I've heard stories like that, where a company goes and, hey, can you design this for me, or pull up something, and then they don't pay them, and they steal that design and use it themselves with their own internal graphic designer.
Yeah, lazy. Yeah, but I mean, other than the stuff with Dan C, probably are a couple of different fragrances, mainly along the lines of the barbershop stuff. See what he says. You know, hopefully he likes it. Hopefully it gives us it'll be the most unique product he's tried. You know, there's only 2 other companies that are doing herbal infused, and he hasn't reviewed their stuff. So, you know, I hope that he gets it and he loves it, and I haven't destroyed I haven't destroyed the whole thing in advance for what I said, but you know, he said himself he's a professional. This is what he does. So, you know, I'm not all that concerned that it's going to be a disaster, but I figured I'd also have the integrity to stick by what I said. You know,
it's solid products. You like, depending on how he feels about herbal in like scented stuff. Obviously, you get I'm sure you get comments on that all the time, which you're used to by now.
Yeah.
And honestly, you see a company, and the first thing you see on their website, like you go to your website and you scroll down, and the big banner literally says herbal infused skin and beard oils. So you got to know what you're getting into.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But if it does go south, you got a bunch of us smaller guys, whether it's us or Boston Bearded or any of these guys that have been sitting on the chat, the Wigwag Workshop and Baker and all those guys. And
yeah,
we might not have the following of him, but combined we might.
Yeah, my intention with him is to send him an herbal and a non-herbal product of the same product, just so he understands the difference. You know, he can smell it for himself. I think that'll be the smartest play. You know, so
that should be. Did he? Well, you haven't sent it out to him yet, have you? You said
no. I have these really nice product boxes that need to have the updated ingredients put on them. So I just got all the stickers I need to print those ingredients and put on the box. So I literally just got those like 4 days ago. So I'm going to print those and make sure everything looks really tip top and pretty before I send them to him.
Yeah, we'll have to keep our eye out for when he drops that episode. And then if for whatever reason he does talk shit, we'll all go in and talk shit about him.
No,
he seems like a cool dude. He's commented on 1 or 2 of our episodes before, and I was like, I was trying to get the notification. You got a new comment, and I look and it's him. I was like, what the fuck are you doing looking at our stuff?
I have all the respect in the world for Dan C. I'm like, I do this with everything though, right? There's people that stay on top of Dan C's word like it's gospel.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that, and he says it himself, this beard oil products are subjective.
It's like that with everything.
It's like that with everything. He has said that himself many, many times, that there are people that ride everything that he says without using any of the God-given brains that they've been blessed with to try to decide what they like and dislike. And they'll buy everything that he says, even though if they don't like it.
No.
Right? But Dan has been a remarkable wealth of knowledge that has grown the bearded community a lot. And I have nothing but respect for him, which is why I'm paying for a review.
Some of my it probably are my first videos that I've watched about beard oils and balms and butters and trying to figure it out when I decided, you know what, I'm actually going to do this thing, was his videos.
Yeah.
Back, 10 years ago, there wasn't really many out there.
Right.
It was him and a handful of other people. So, he's still one of those, like if I see a new product, I'll go to his page, see if he has any reviews out there, along with a couple others out there. he's probably the biggest one. A lot of them are like the smaller guys that I'll follow. What's his name? Bearded Santa, I think his name is. He's one of the ones that I'll go to. It's a bunch of smaller guys, but yeah, he was the one that showed me, showed me the way of how to basically figure out what I want to put in my beard. So his page will always have a little place in my heart.
And Santa Tom's a good man. I've met him face to face, along with Bearded Chief and Dino, Tactical Santa. I've met a lot of these guys in the community at a couple of different events. So
yeah, I've met so many people on Instagram or Discords that I haven't met face to face yet, and it's weird because they always tell you, or they told us growing up, never like hang out with people that you don't know. Don't go hang out with strangers. And now we're like, shit. Me and Paul never met face to face up until, what was that, 2 years ago, last year, whatever it was.
Yeah,
we've known each other for like 10 plus years and finally met face to face. And they tell us not to meet strangers that we don't know. Oh,
yeah,
shit. 90% of my friends I don't technically know.
Some of the best friends I've ever made have been from playing Xbox.
Drinking on Zooms, hanging out in Discords, hanging out on Facebook group pages or whatever. Like, I got some close friends that are local or that were local and moved away, but majority of my friends are people that I met online.
Yeah, you were pretty much exactly like I pictured you, other than the fact I didn't recognize you at first. That has a lot to do with just my brain doesn't work like it used to,
Nah, it happens. we see each other on a little, what is that, 5x8 screen or whatever, however big the screen is.
Right.
But yeah, is there anything you want to promote or anything before that you haven't already, I guess?
No, we've talked about it. There's going to be hopefully some cool stuff happening this year, and got our storage unit. We have a climate controlled storage unit. We're upgrading the surfaces that we work in there. We're trying to upgrade everything stainless steel. Trying to get everything more laid out so it functions better. So, but yeah, it's everything's a labor of love right now. We're trying to improve and trying to make it so we expose more people to what we make. Try to change some hearts and minds towards the herbal blend, but we're capturing customers we never would have captured before because they were just afraid of the herbal blend. So
the in-person thing I think makes a big difference, because you see herbal blend and you see some reviews and you kind of get turned off, but when you're actually able to sit there and smell them, it kind of changes your mind. You said you were going to the Florida Man games as a vendor. Do you have any other shows or events or anything coming up this year that people should?
We're doing the at a bar for goodness gracious, St. Patty's Day. Motorworks Brewing, we're doing that. And then the event up in Gatlinburg in June, if I can get off work. I got to compete for it because it's Juneteenth. I got to compete for it. 17 years at my job, I still have to compete for stuff when almost everybody's junior to me now. It's great. That's going to happen in June, and then just random stuff that happened. We're going to be at Buckeye Beard Battle in September. I'm not going to vend, though. I'm going to just go hang out, which will be a lot easier to do. But no, just we're kind of pick up shows as they kind of happen. Hopefully a lot of the majority of the sales come online and I don't have to do a lot of shows. But the shows help gain more exposure, Yeah. So, but no, not a whole lot exciting. Some of the stuff is exciting, but so.
Paul, you got anything?
No, I think we've pretty much touched on a lot of stuff tonight. It was a good time catching up and chatting with you.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff I had written down to talk about, you touched on the first 10 minutes about all the new stuff, which was great because then I was like, I don't have to do the whole Q&A thing. We just talk about whatever. Yeah, we talked about the meadow foam. We talked about gray beards. We talked about the growth oil, the non-herbal line, deodorants, the collabs. Yeah. Yeah, it was a great time catching up again, even though well, for me, it's only been, 2.5 months. And for Paul and Adam, it was, 5 months, 4 months, something like that.
Longer, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be back down as long as nothing comes up like major. I should be back. I know you said you weren't going, but I'll be at the Ybor City Cigar Festival. It was a good time. I understand why you're not going back. It's people aren't there really looking for oils. But
I'm going to go, but I'm not going to go as a vendor.
Well, shit. Then we'll have to meet up again because I had a great time. I definitely smoked some great cigars and came back with a bunch.
I almost think it would be better for me to go there and hand out cards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So that's kind of like what
samples in it, and just here's a card and a sample, man. Nice talking to you. You know what I mean? I think that might even be better.
It could be. That's more or less, granted, we're two different products, but that's what I did. I was just talking to different companies, like, hey, what do you guys think about being on podcast? And some of them straight up said, yeah, we don't do them. We don't. And there's other ones like that are like, do you know anybody? And I was just like, hey.
This guy right over here.
So there was a few that we hooked up with, and we're still trying to get them on. The timing, especially like this was early December, and then for the next 2 or 3 weeks we go through the holidays or whatever, and then early to mid January I started reaching out again, and it's just like, oh, we got this going on, we got that going on, and there's a few companies that we have we're still going back and forth trying to find some time, but eventually we'll get a bunch of them on. And but yeah, that was it. It's just like, hey, you want to be on a podcast? And they're like, yeah. Or I think I was wearing the shirt that I made up for the show, and people are like, you got a podcast? I was like, yeah. Like, well, what are you doing? We tell them, and it's like, well, how do we get on? I was like, oh, let me get your information, and I'll email you, message you on Facebook, Instagram, email, text, whatever you want. We'll figure it out. And that's how
I will be on the Hour of the Wolf, which is the Renegade Beard Club. I mean, if you guys want to pop in there, and I'll send that to you guys as well. I'll be on their show next month on I think the 15th.
I've popped on a couple of their shows. There's between, so since we do whiskey, cigars, and beer products, trying to jump on everyone else's shows that have these products. Like, if we just did cigars or just did whiskey or just did beer products, it's so much easier.
Yeah.
Like, because like you have shows that are like, all right, on Tuesdays we're doing this, and on Tuesdays this brand's doing it. But when you're trying to get all three, it's just like, oh, on Thursday I got this podcast at 8, this podcast at 7, this podcast at 9, and I'm like, oh. So I've been trying to like change it up. Like, I got the few podcasts or YouTube shows or whatever you want to call them weekly, and there's a few others that I kind of rotate through, and here's the one that I kind of rotate through, and a few others, and which is awesome, because obviously we probably wouldn't be able to be doing what we're doing, especially the ones that like to promote us and we promote them. And I'm sure it's the same thing with you guys. Like, you probably wouldn't be where you're at without Bearded Death and a few other companies out there.
Yeah.
And it's just a big community, and which is the best thing. Like, when we first started this, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, all right, like, how are we going to beat these other podcasts that are kind of doing the same thing, that have thousands of followers. And then once we got into the scene, it's just like they're reaching out, like, hey, if you guys need any help, just let us know.
Yeah.
Oh shit, this isn't, and it's a big thing. There's a hashtag that goes around, community, not competition, or hashtag community, not competition. And it's just, everyone helps each other. And like I said earlier, there's a few that are just like, fuck you, I'm doing my own thing. And we're like, yeah, whatever. You do your own thing. But you're not going to last long.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure.
Figured the more companies or more brands and shows and companies that we interact with and hang out with and show that we actually are there for them, they're doing the same for us. So
yeah,
if you want to send a message over to that show, we'll share it around and try to hop on. Shit, that's a month away.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Even if it's just to come on and say hi, you know what I mean?
That's a month away. I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow, to be honest with you.
True that, man.
But I'll put it on my calendar with everything else, and
that's funny.
There's days where I got like 6 things, and I was like, all right, which one am I doing today?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
well, all right, guys. Well, it was a blast talking to you guys. Stinks that 1/3 of this amazing show got a headache, but
yeah, Adam had to dip. He wasn't feeling too well. But yeah, we want to thank you again for jumping on with us for a second time. I'm sure this won't be the last at all.
No, that's my pleasure. I listen. We go on 3 or 4 hours sometimes on the Bearded Texans Corral.
Yeah.
And chat on Friday nights. You know, this is.
I remember there was one Friday I jumped on, and I was on for 45 minutes to an hour. Jumped off, had some dinner, and then after dinner, I was like, well, I went back on the Discord. They're still going. I jumped back on for another like 30, 45 minutes and jumped off and getting ready for bed. We lay down in bed, and I look, and they're still going. I was like, jeez.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. I jumped on one. I don't think you weren't on that time, or you just jumped off the one time I was on, the first time I was on.
Yeah.
And I was talking to whoever was on. I was like, I'll try to jump on, but from September, October through April is my busy season, especially working for the big arena down here. Almost every week we have an event on a Friday.
Sure.
If it's not, then I have to be in early on Saturday, and I'm not really trying to stay up too late. But I was like, come May, June, like the summertime, hopefully I'll be able to jump on some more and just hang out, because what else is there to do Friday night? I don't want to go out and spend too much money. I got enough shit. You see this whiskey, and that's not even half of what I have in this room.
You're a mad man.
You don't even want to know what's in that closet.
Yeah.
But yeah, send us the link for that show. We'll share it around the 3 of us, and we'll try to jump on.
Yeah, it should be different. I mean, a lot of these guys in Renegades, even though I'm a member of Renegade, like, don't know who I am.
Yeah.
So, which is fine.
And then if there's any time that you're putting out a new product or anything, and if you want to just reach out, say, hey, I want to jump on, even if it's for like a 10-minute, hey, I'm putting out this new product sort of deal, just let us know, and we'll find a spot. Even if, like I said, even if it's 5-10 minutes of you like, new product. All right, see ya. We can make that happen. Yeah, I guess that does it for another episode of Bourbon Beards and Belvederes. Check out these great products, BainBlends, BainBlends.com. Like I said earlier, there's like 3 pages of different scent profiles of just oils, and then you got butters, colognes, deodorant, hand creams, merch, anything else you could think of is basically under there. Oh, and then the Limb Lost Boss that touched on very briefly, which I smelled all 3 scents at the cigar festival, and they're all fantastic. That was at the green tea. He has a green tea one. I think.
Rugged Man, I think.
Sea salt sage.
I don't remember. You're putting me on the spot, dude.
The green tea, sea salt, and sage. The dialed in.
Ah, yes.
That one was fantastic. I don't know what it was about. They were all great, but for that dialed in one, the one with the green tea in it, sea salt, sage, birchwood, fresh mountain, sea salt, sea. They're all great, but for some reason that green tea one was fantastic. So yeah, check out these products. Tune into the episode. Would you say next month?
Yeah, I don't remember
Sometime.
the exact date. I can tell you. Hold on.
We'll find it and we'll post it on or share it on our stories or whatever. Get you looking them up because obviously
it'll be March 3rd or March 15th at 7 p.m.
So yeah, literally just under a month away.
Yep,
it's 8 o'clock right now on February 15th.
Hour of the Wolf, the Renegade Beard Club, Hour of the Wolf, and it's with 2 of the biggest names in the Renegade Beard Club. So
yeah, we'll make sure to post that to our story to get people towards you if they're not already knowing about it. But yeah, like I said, check out these products, follow him around. He's got some great stuff. We have some cool things coming over the next couple weeks. I think you are the start of 4 or 5 straight guests for us. So you're the beginning. And I don't think. Well, I posted a reel or something. So we got you. We have Chattanooga coming on next weekend, which would be awesome. One of my favorite distilleries out there. And then we have Eric from Black Star Line Cigars coming, and then the 4th one we haven't posted yet. I'll let Adam post about that one because he was the one that came in contact with that contact and did everything. So I don't want to mess that surprise up for him if he has anything special for that. But yeah, after this, next 3 weeks, 3 straight different companies. Looking forward to all 3 of them because I've had products from all 3 of these companies and they are all fantastic. So look forward to that. Support your veterans and active military first responders and all the good stuff that Adam likes to say at the end of the shows that I never write down and never remember. But active first responders, veterans, military, children, all the charities that go along with them. One of these days, we got to figure out how to write this down because Adam has this in the back of his head and we never do this. And
we just need to make a bumper like a pimp just so we can hit play.
The next time when I edit, I just edited the last episode. I'll go back and just kind of clip it. And then it'll just be his voice when he's not here with us and everyone will be like, what the fuck? But yeah, support children, support active military and veterans and all that good stuff. There's been some weird shit going on. There's been some files that may not have been released completely, and according to some people that if they get released, the whole patriarchy or government is going to fall, which I think all of us will say fuck that, release it all, and we don't give a fuck if they all fall anyways because they deserve it. I don't want to go too much more because we'll probably get fucking canceled. That's a story for the
release it all. Release
that's
the whole thing. We need it gone.
That's a story for spirits and secrets that we'll have to all 4 of us jump on one time and talk about. Don't want to get into that here because
no,
I'll get heated and the other you guys I'm sure will too. But anyways, that does it for this episode. Thank you again for joining us. We had a great time. Just shooting shit. We don't even have to talk about anything. Anytime you want to jump on, just shoot the shit. Just let us know, and we'll shoot an hour episode of just whatever the hell's going on.
Yeah, man, let's do it, bro.
Like at this point, I think we've made a relationship with you, and we've had fun just kind of hanging out. And half the time, we're just talking about random shit. I think like we talked about your products, and then it just kind of goes off track, and then comes back to your products. So, and hopefully everyone that's listening realizes that you're doing great products. We've had you on twice now, and I met you in person, still wanted you back on. Probably goes to show how great this stuff is. So definitely check them out. And
you met my son too, which is cool.
Yeah, and I got to see you try to teach him how to use the what was that, whatever program you were using for credit cards and stuff.
Yeah, that was
fun. But yeah, until next time. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Yeah.